Well, it looks fine, but the angles, it needs to be turned a little bit that way. That's it.
That's perfect. We did it. Oh my god.
Hopefully.
Oh my god. And the mic's in the middle.
Yay.
Yay. So we're just going to put this in between us because we talk at each other anyway.
What?
What?
I never have.
What? By the way, Merry Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah and all the ones that I don't really have any cultural reason to say because they're not mine.
What? Okay, so what other traditions are around Christmas, actually? Besides, you have Hanukkah, you have Kwanzaa, you have Christmas. Those are what we know.
Yeah.
There's Yule.
Yeah,
There's
Yule.
a lot of pagans.
And then technically you got all the various Catholic saint days. St. Martin, St. Nicholas.
I forgot to get ice.
Yeah.
And now my titties are very tight. Nobody's here. I can say that.
You can say that all you want.
I can say all I want. Cheers, baby.
Clink. All right.
We're about to go on discussion of what are your favorite things ever.
Oh.
I'm going to go ahead and actually also put to Instagram really quick, so
Yeah.
keep talking about other things while I do that for myself.
I'm going to let one Rachel know that we're on.
I love Rachel.
Beep. There we go.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
And also, I do want to reiterate to you, for real,
Yeah.
like, when I said that I'm expecting today to have, like, no watchers, I mean it. Like, this is really, today is, I want to create good clips I can edit. That is my goal today. So, we're still
An interesting winter holiday traditions. That's a bit, whatever. I'm like, oh gosh, the whiskey's already making my, like... Oh, hey, Joe Mag like my shit. Hey, what's going on, babe? Okay, hold on. And then it's twitch.tv/ghost house media. Okay, done. And it's not gonna fucking...
All right. We have officially got one viewer. I'm hoping it's...
Hey, baby, what's going on?
Hi, one viewer.
Hey, baby. I'm looking at
Thank you for being here.
We gotta look at that guy. We keep forgetting. We
I'm
look over
bad
there.
at it, and this is the only spot I can read comments.
Well, I also have my phone on
You
me.
have
So,
your phone,
guys, we are looking at my phone if you are checking it out.
Yep.
Like, I'm looking at it really to read the comments, so don't worry, I'm not looking at Instagram because I see this art every day.
I'm looking directly
we're
forward
live.
into your soul. Right here, one
Okay.
viewer. I love you.
Okay, so weird Christmas traditions.
All right.
Start off really
Yeah,
easy. Maybe
so-
people will come in because today we're talking. Hey,
Yes.
Yoda lady, what's going on?
Hi.
It's our favorite girl.
Ignore me, she says.
Why? I don't
Be-
want to fucking ignore you. Don't tell me what to
It's
do.
it's a good thing to
Your
do.
wife's telling me what to do.
That's true.
And I love it.
So for you and for people who watch VODs later, or clips or whatever, we are not expecting a great turnout in viewership today, as this is our very, very first day.
Did you see that?
I did. It's classy. This is our very, very first day doing it on this channel, so we are not leaning on the viewership of Ashley's channel. So if it's just you in here today, babe,
What's up, babe?
thanks for
we
watching.
love you. We love you.
But this is for us.
I love it.
And we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna talk it out. We got lots of fun, dark, spooky Christmas stories and traditions to cover.
And this is going to be Kyle's fucking show, honestly, because I have a couple of notes. I have a couple of anti-clauses that I like, but you are the walking dictionary of weird shit.
I am now.
I can't compete. I'm just here to continue the conversation.
Well, also some of these I just want to introduce to you and hopefully brighten your holiday spirit. Maybe for some reason the misfortune of one of us inheriting children happens.
I also love the idea of having a creepy Christmas.
Yeah,
Like
me
for
too.
Christmas we decorate with Krampus heads.
Yeah.
Or
So
Zwart-Piet ornaments. But if we can't have
okay,
any of our friends over.
I'm not sure about the Scorpion ornaments.
Cut that out. Cut that out. Nobody saw that. Nobody saw that.
So, first off, I've thought this out a little bit.
Okay.
So here's where we're starting. And all it is Christmas and the Christmas time used to be scary.
Now what is that?
Exactly. It's fucking weird. We lost sight of that at some point. And, Guild Lady says she saw the Zwart-Piet ornament, so it's too late.
Fuck.
Yep.
We have to kill her.
It's the only choice. So
have
we
to
can
kill
protect
her.
our cred. But it's part of the reason, like, if you think in Christmas songs, like, one of the lines is, and tells scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmas long, long ago. And that line is so funny because, like, we hear it all the time. It's a really traditional Christmas song that's playing fucking constantly. but you never think about the fact that like you hear scary ghost stories and you're like, Christmas Carol, Scrooge and the Three Ghosts. That's the only scary Christmas ghost story I know. But that song's written in the 1800s, and what it's referring to is the fact that the tradition of Christmas has always been almost a horror holiday.
Do you think it's a judgment come upon ye holiday? Meaning
Kinda.
This is where you really reflect.
Yeah.
Are you a fuck boy?
Yeah.
Are you someone? I was gonna say fucks with boys, but that's not.
Yeah, the fucks with boys is the opposite of a fuck boy, and fucks with boys are good, while fuck boys are
We
evil.
should brag at Christmas. Brag about what?
About everything. We should be fuck boys.
Oh, okay. You have a. I don't know.
You can't brag about me. That's not bragging.
Oh, well.
You started your brag.
Rachel,
with
what
you
should I
have...
brag about? Well, I'm gonna put my hair up because I'm tired of my hair. I should have washed it today. Okay.
The glory's long ago. Yeah. Well, now you, as I said, tie it back to the start of the song. That was the whole gist, was circling around and experiencing the end season. And the thing is like pagan traditions.
Yeah.
Not just like what we view as pagan today, but pagan traditions as a whole.
Pagans were a bit more brutal.
And
or rock and roll.
Their shit, absolutely. And all of their spiritual beliefs were tied intrinsically and super hard to the seasons. And winter, as a season, was the season of death.
Yule.
Right. And
the longest night of the year.
And
then when you come out of it, let's celebrate with whiskey and wine.
And the reason that that concept of the longest night of the year was so important, and not just like the night itself, the winter solstice, but the whole surrounding period. Night times are longer.
Yeah.
You can't grow new food.
No.
Your stupid farm animals don't get to live in the barn anymore. You got to bring them in the house in a lot of like Iceland and stuff. So
well, isn't it some cows go for months without seeing sunlight?
Absolutely. So it's a dark, it's scary time inherently. And then, so all of their seasonal traditions are wrapped up and mixed up in their mythologies, right?
Yeah.
So one lady we're going to talk about in a little bit, her name's Frau Perchta. You know a little bit about Frau Perchta.
I know a little bit about Frau Perchta.
Frau Perchta is my favorite, and it was a goddess. Before she became part of the Christmas tradition, she actively was a god in a lot of the German-speaking areas,
Germanic,
but like super long ago, with light ties to Norse mythology, but like this light, and
like a sprinkling.
Yeah, just
a sprinkling of Odin.
And one of her holy days, apparently, was December 5th. Obviously, months have different names, days have different, but like if you lined it up on a calendar, December 5th.
Yeah.
And it was believed, the same way we talk about Halloween these days, it was the day where the veil was the thinnest.
Yeah.
Where the damned and the dead were more likely to come.
Now, did they also have one in October and December, or is this just December for this specific culture?
For most of these
October,
cultures.
for some reason, is worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
There
really
was
is.
a memo that went out at the dawn of time. October is Death Month.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is Death Month.
And I love that. But the thing is there in these cultures, really it started at the end of the fall, so I guess it starts in October, but it comes to its dark cataclysmic head in December. And this night, December 5th, that was important to Frau Perchta, was the night that her children, the Perchten, would come. And I'm going to talk so much about the Perchten in a little bit, because they are so fucking scary, and I love them.
If I have a brood of children, I'm going to call them the Perchtens.
The Perchtens.
Bastards.
That's, if you want to be very, very lightly racist, and I'll explain why later, you can call
By the way, we don't condone any racist practices in these Christmas traditions.
And
we will get into that, and it's like,
and just so this is,
am I so uncomfortable reading about Swartbeat? I was like, I can't do it.
When I'm editing this later, I need this to be in the front. So for my two beautiful viewers, thank you both for being here. Just let it be known that nothing we say is probably right. And if a word is not Texas English, I'm probably going to mispronounce the fuck out of it.
There were some names that you put in, and I'm like, futard?
Yeah.
We're educated, but we're not educated.
Yeah, we're not international, unfortunately. Yeah. And I watched like YouTube guides on even like how to pronounce some of these guys, because I've known their names for eons, but like I've never talked about them out loud before.
Yeah.
So I looked into it, and I'll try my best, but I'm going to slaughter, especially the Icelandic
it's
stuff.
Texas, that's what we do, baby. We slaughter. Can't spell slaughter without laughter.
Yeah. Also, if you're talking dark Christmas, can't spell slaughter without laughter is good. That's a good.
I mean, I have you seen the Krampus Christmas Christmas movie?
I actually haven't.
It's actually very good. That's
No.
okay. Rachel,
want
if
to
you're
watch
watching, Rachel's his wife. We're watching it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a night where we watch it. I haven't seen it in years, and I actually loved it.
Yeah, I really got excited for it when it was coming out, and I just never got around to seeing it.
It's very good.
So, first off, here's a question for you.
It's the American school system.
Yay!
I would get some international people saying, "So you said that wrong?"
Yeah, oh yeah,
and we'll be like,
me
"I know."
Me too. Also, hi, third viewer. Thank you.
Hey, what's going on, baby?
So first off,
Yay.
I'm going to describe a guy to you, and you tell me who you think, as a American lady, who you think it is. Okay?
Oh, from all the Krampuses?
No, just this.
Oh,
Just
God, 'cause
Christmas.
I'm like, I'm gonna
No.
need a, I'm
Yeah.
gonna need an A, B, C.
Just Christmas.
Yeah.
All right, get ready. You ready? So he's a fat guy.
Love it.
He wears fur.
Love it.
He wears a cap,
Love it.
big beard. Okay, big sack over his shoulder. He comes through the chimney,
Okay.
and he comes on Christmas Eve. Who am I describing?
Santa Claus.
I am describing Connect the Ruprecht, of course. And
Or Frau Rupert. Wait, what? No, not Frau. That's woman.
yeah.
Hold on.
So this is.
Kyle really went into detail here, and I'm about 80 pages
Oh,
behind.
yeah, you're good.
So
You're-
this is
yeah.
his time to shine.
I'm talking with you.
We
and-
both have our specialties. This is his.
So, Connect, and I am saying that right. If you look it up, well, I'm not. I'm
Is it
brutally.
N-E-C-H-T?
It's spelt like you would think the K is silent.
Mm-hmm.
It's K-N-E-C-H-T, but you do pronounce both the K and the N because German is horrible. It's Connect, Ruprecht, except make it sound way less.
That's not the
garbled.
switcher, right? Even
No,
though all of them technically
all the
switch
switchers.
people, but there's one specifically known as the switcher.
So we're gonna start with him.
And I'm like, Grandpa?
Specifically, these various, let's call them Christmas monsters. That makes it easy for me.
Monsters.
These monsters fall kind of into three camps.
Okay.
You got your companions of St. Nicholas or Santa Claus or Santa Claus or whatever. You've got your, they handle the whole Christmas Eve and Christmas night themselves.
Yeah.
And then you got your horny little boys.
My favorite.
And these are our three camps for these legends. And they all have similarities.
There's a lot of eating. There's a lot of cannibalism.
Lots
which is
of-
funny because we dove deep into cannibalism last episode with
Yeah.
Wendigo.
Yeah.
And we can't get away from cannibalism.
Also, Wendigo are tied to like winter and cold climates too. So in a way, I should have thrown them on the list.
This is a sign that we need to do cannibalism for Christmas. Rachel,
Yes.
how are you doing?
Let's bring it back. Cannibalism used to be really popular during Christmas.
Bring cannibalism back.
So first guy, Connect Ruprecht. The reason I'm starting with him is he's the template
Yeah.
by which seemingly all the others are based. And I'll kind of even explain
Like
that.
the bad ones.
Yeah, he's kind of the original.
Yeah.
Kinda, only kinda. His name is in such old archaic German
Yeah.
that it's really difficult to establish really what it means. Ruprecht seems to mean Robert, and then Connect.
I kind of get Rudolph from that, but that's just German. Is Ru?
Yeah,
like
and
Dolph,
I think
like,
Rudolph is
Yeah, he is German. Like Rudolph.
But
Like Randolph.
Connect means knight, like a knight with a sword and armor. But in the old English, it doesn't really. It also kind of means farmhand and servant and wildling and helper. It means a lot of things at once. And Connect Ruprecht, his deal,
Yeah.
and he's the most tame of all these guys, is he was a foundling,
Okay.
found in the woods as a child, and Saint Nicholas was
Oh, so he's one of the assistants. Yes.
correct. I'm just going to talk about companions for a second. He marches on up. He sees a little baby, and he's like, "Hey, little baby, don't freeze to death out here in the woods. How about you? I'll raise you. I'm a saint. It's going to be badass." And we're going to go do Christmas magic together, and I'm going to do all the good parts that the children love, and you're going to beat the shit out of little kids. And Connect Ruprecht was like, "Okay, Santa." And then that was that. It became our tradition. And what I absolutely love is, see the guy behind you right
Yes.
there?
Yes.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
He's beautiful.
Anytime you see a Santa that looks like that,
I hope you guys like our Christmas decorations.
yeah, these two snowflakes.
Can you leave them here so we can do next week?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, of course.
I'm in.
He's
I'm
got to
in.
brutalize these children. So Connect Ruprecht.
me the hell up. Where's the stop reading me mind?
It's
really embarrassing.
He is the most tame of these, the least silly, but he does come with some fun traditions that I really like.
Yeah.
That we should bring back, and that's another thing.
Beating children.
Well, number one, with sticks specifically, or with big bags filled with ash.
We're going to Walmart,
which I also love. There was this tradition a long time ago that I really, really enjoy, in which people in these various Germanic towns, one would dress up as Saint Nick, and one would dress up as Knecht Ruprecht, and then they would just go door to door and pretending to be the real deal, and the parents would march the kids out in front of them, and Saint Nicholas would be like, "Here, I've got toys and candy and cakes, yay!" Knecht Ruprecht would just loom silently in the background, being like scary. Yeah. And then, if the kids were bad, the parents were supposed to have already told the people who were dressed up. And it was a different time, so it wasn't all kids are good, right?
Yeah.
So Knecht Ruprecht would have a big burlap sack, and he would just straight up threaten, like, I'm going to steal your children, I'm going to put them in my sack, I'm going to tie it closed, and I'm going to throw it in the river.
And they've done this since early 20th century, right? Like, people would dress up, and they would actually have Knecht Ruprecht go around with Santa.
Right, and this particular tradition, actually, with him, dates back at least to the 1700s, maybe even the 1600s. So
they knew how to fucking party.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, when I was researching this stuff, the thing that made me the saddest was, like, we don't have a Christmas monster.
We don't. And do you think that's because of a Puritan thing? Like, because America's traditions? Because, okay, we have to be honest.
Yeah.
German people, they're crazy.
They're fucking...
Like, they're from, like, Norse... This shit's cold and dark. That's where nightmares are going to come from. We don't have that. We have some up north, and I wouldn't be surprised if back in the old days, Wisconsin had something. The Wisconsin cheddar monster.
So you say up north. Yeah. Pennsylvania actually does.
Yeah.
And it still does for some reason.
Who is it?
But it's just Belsnickel, my favorite.
Okay.
Belsnickel's fucking hilarious, and he's kind of the brother of Knecht Ruprecht. Also, just some pictures. I know.
I'm sorry. We want to share pictures, but I don't have my Elgato thing yet.
Okay. So all you got to know about Knecht Ruprecht,
and
we'll lock it down, is he hits kids with sticks. He throws them in the fucking icy river, and they drown to death.
I love it.
That's great.
Oh my God,
we love him. And also, he works for Santa, and Santa raised him since he was a baby. Also, every time I say Santa, I'm actually talking about Saint Nicholas.
Do you think it's just... And I think I covered this before. I'm repeating
No,
myself.
You covered it in the car. You've not covered it here.
Oh, the whole, like, 50-50 of humanity.
Yeah.
He represents the good, represents the bad, and it's like, this is the punishment, this is the reward. But that's what they were really big into.
Hugely.
It's like, if you act good, you will be given good things. That's not always true at all. It was a good way... I don't want to say brainwash people. It was a good way to bring hope to people and create a good society. But at the same time, if you fuck up, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be thrown in the river.
You're gonna get whipped and thrown in the river.
And you're gonna be eaten.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, these kids.
And fucking salted.
The thing, too, is, like, in the modern Christmas tradition, we, like, kids believe in Santa.
Yeah.
Adults don't even view it as mythology. It's just a thing you do for your kids. And that's the way we interact with it.
I apologize that I'm yawning.
You're fine.
We had a very fun night last night. We had a very fun night.
It's true.
Yeah, so I'm not yawning because of bored. I'm yawning because it's cold and it's dark, and we were out until like 3.
Yeah. It was a good time, though.
And I'm too old, but go on.
So, no, you're absolutely correct.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And one thing that, through our 21st century lens, we don't get quite right is in the past when we would, like, threaten kids with this kind of shit, like, it wasn't that whole concept of, like, Santa's checking the list, he's spying on you to see what you're doing. All that stuff, it wasn't used with a soft hand. It was used, like, as a deliberate tool to keep your children in line.
Well, you couldn't really fuck around because you had the woods, you had wild animals, you had people from other villages.
The world was dangerous.
It was a bit tougher, so you needed to scare the shit out of your kids for them to behave.
Well, and...
Not just because mommy's stressed and needs wine.
No,
like, she's like, absolutely. I don't want you to die.
Well, and then the other piece that even goes along with that is St. Nicholas, as a figure, was literally a saint. He's a Catholic saint, St. Nicholas. And the parents did believe
Didn't he originate in Turkey?
He was in Asia Minor,
Yeah.
and was a real dude and hilarious, and he punched people and he fought and he was
I think
violent.
he saved 3 young women from
which is a
destitution.
famous true
Yeah.
story. Well, true in quote according to Catholic doctrine. True.
Yeah, supposedly he threw it down the chimney.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah. Well, that part is probably newer. That's joined the tradition.
Yes.
But like, yeah, no. Saint Nicholas also not only was he a definitively real guy, but we actually still have his bones today. You can like visit.
Where?
Them. Yeah, I don't remember right now, but you can go
Are
visit.
they in Asia
them.
Minor?
They're in a. I don't think they are. I think they are in Russia.
I wanna go.
Yeah, I know, right? Also, it's a very few of his bones survived. It's like a collarbone and like a half of his
And
jaw.
who's to say it's his bones?
It almost certainly is. They've pretty solid church records like that date all the way back to every time it got moved and
Well, shit.
with that lost
You better
pieces and
save
shit.
my bones and put it in fucking pagodas.
Sadly, I don't think you're a saint, so so I don't think you get the whole reliquary
Rachel, I'm a
treatment. But first off,
Yeah.
if we ever need to pull a heist, let's steal Santa's bones. That sounds.
Wait, what is it? We're gonna steal the Declaration of Independence. We're gonna steal Santa's bones.
That's a good Christmas
That's
movie.
A good Christmas movie. We
Get
want the
Nick
power.
Cage on it. It's a National Treasure movie. It's the National Treasure Christmas movie.
No, TM guys.
Holy
TM,
shit.
TM. This is ours. You don't get to have it. This
Oh
is ours.
my god, we're geniuses.
I actually really want to
I
make
know.
this movie.
It's hilarious.
I actually really want to make like a short of it.
We gotta turn this off so nobody steals it from us.
Like, you didn't see
She's
it.
already goddamn writing it. Cut that shit out.
Who's our sexy like Mr. Van and Miss Hekit, I hope you find the bones. And then I seduce her.
I don't want it to be a lady.
Oh, who do you want to be?
I want it to be Camille Nanjiani.
Oh.
I think you're
You're so beautiful, and I want him to have a French accent.
Yes.
Monsieur
And dress like the
Van.
sexy maid.
And I want him to be like.
But he's actually like a Russian spy who also wants Santa's bones.
Is he still buff from
From Eternals? Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
100%.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So, but St. Nicholas is a real dude.
Yeah.
And so the thing that we totally fuck up when we talk about these myths,
Yeah.
And about Santa, is that even though the parents didn't believe the like gift giving, like
Yeah.
it's really him giving the gifts, blah blah blah, they did believe in St. Nicholas. It was part of their religion, and the original like actual holiday they were celebrating was December 6th,
Yeah.
St. Nicholas Day, and it was a holy day that they celebrated. And so like it was weird because unlike the modern versions of Santa, they were practicing something they truly legitimately believed in.
Yeah.
And one of the miracles of St. Nick dealt with like you would receive good luck and little gifts and windfalls.
Yes.
And so like in some small way, it wasn't like parents duping their children like
Yeah.
Santa. They really kind of believed on December 6th there was a chance St. Nicholas would give them something.
Do you think there was someone in the village who was?
Yes. So, you asked the exact right question. That's so exciting.
You're welcome. And
So-
you didn't even have to tell me.
So that kind of leads back to people dressing up as St. Nicholas and Connect Ruprecht.
Yeah.
Is there was this element of, while keeping the illusion alive for the children, while also practicing this holy day they did believe in.
Yeah.
And then you had your neighbors who would dress up as these figures and mystically know the children are bad by the parents and whatnot.
Could you imagine being judged by your neighbors? Like, the
I love
neighbors
it.
are really psyched for the whole year. I get to beat the shit out of
This
kid.
fucking
I get
kid.
to beat the shit
Yeah.
out of this kid. Okay, let's
Isn't
bring
that
it back.
I know,
Let's
that's
bring
what
it
I'm
back.
saying. It's
I bet
great.
there are some people in teaching who are like, no.
No, God, please,
I'll
shit.
be net Rupert. Let's do it.
But so yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I kind of love it. And the when we get to Krampus, I'll kind of talk about the why.
Yeah.
But like this was early Christmas. Saint Nicholas was basically always paired with the Dark Companion.
Yeah.
He didn't lose his Dark Companions till
Like Dark,
Santa came along.
you know.
Dark just has in like
Oblivion,
evil.
Oathkeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Zehanort. I can't. Master the Mark Hamill. That's all I remember of him.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
So next is basically a copy
Yeah.
of him, but better. This is Père Fêtard, because fucking French is crazy and you don't pronounce most of the letters. So, Père Fêtard means father whipper.
I like this guy.
Yeah. So he basically, my vibe on this, and I'm making this up, but it's my vibe. I think that some French people saw what the Germans were doing with Connect Ruprecht, and they were like, he's just hitting the kid with sticks. No, we can do better than that.
I'm gonna start showing up to all our friends' houses and just start whipping the shit out of them.
And that's you found the spirit of Père Fouettard right then. So Father Whipper was a dark-clad, spooky figure, long grizzled beard. He was really skinny though, unlike Santa.
Okay.
And he traveled with Saint Nick, except he usually had a wicker basket on his back for kidnapping children.
Yeah.
And a whip.
Yeah.
Sometimes a bundle of sticks, whatever. But Père Fouettard, his whole deal is he'd come to your house. He would judge if your kids are naughty. Yeah. If they were bad, he'd leave them cold. If they were very bad, he'd whip them with an honest-to-God fucking whip, which is crazy. And then if they were very, very bad, he would ask St. Nicholas permission if he could steal the kids. And St. Nick would be like, yeah, they're little shits.
I wonder if this is also a way to scare kids into being good people, because society at the time and to this day does not have room for really shitty people, especially in small communities, small villages. You need to depend on each other. You can't have a kid causing shit and being like, he's just a bad egg.
Yeah.
So this is just a way to scare him and be like, look, you should die.
Well, and no, you're right. It's not even... These tools were used not just around the season. One of the big differences is, like, these days, when kids are talking about, like, you're not going to get your kids. When parents are like, you're not going to get your presents if you're bad because Santa knows. He's checking the list.
Yeah.
We really only use that shit on our kids, like, around Christmas time.
Yeah.
This is not how it was back in the day. The threat of Père Fouettard existed the whole year. It was
if I have kids, I'm doing Père Fouettard.
Yeah. He's a spooky boy. He's a spooky boy. And I got my first story. You ready for a story?
Guys, it's story time.
So, here's the thing. Number one.
Yeah.
This story is actually Catholic canon.
Okay.
It is true. It's true in the Catholic canon.
Yeah.
As a part of the real Saint Nicholas.
Yeah.
But then for some reason it got like absorbed by the Christmassy Saint Nicholas, and now it's a Christmas legend that those in France fully attest to, and it's the origin of Père Fouettard. So apparently, bajillion years ago, there was either a butcher or an innkeeper.
Yeah.
We don't know his name.
Yeah.
And he was horrible, he was evil, and he was curmudgeon-y, and he did bad, awful things all the time to everybody.
Okay.
He's probably a serial killer. And he saw 3 little Christian boys.
This story is wild.
I love it. Wild. It's so good.
I remember this one.
Yeah.
I remember this one.
So he saw 3 little Christian boys. Well, then I apologize for repeating it, but...
No, I love this story.
So he saw 3 little Christian boys on their way to a Christian boarding school. And this is way back. We're talking like year 700.
Yeah.
They're on their way, and he convinces them to stop in their inn, and then he tricks his wife into helping him murder the boys. And he murders all 3 of them, and then he chops them up into pieces, and then he puts them in a salting barrel so that it will taste like salt pork.
Uh-huh.
And he plans on selling it in either his butcher shop or his inn, depending on the source. And he was like, I'm an evil little guy, and I'm going to sell boy meat to people. And he didn't expect that St. Nicholas would show up at the end. So St. Nicholas shows up, and Père Fouettard is like, oh my God, this is literally a Catholic saint. I got to treat him well. And he's like, hey, St. Nicholas, do you want a cut of our finest meats?
Uh-huh.
And St. Nicholas goes, no, because I know what you serve here, you evil bastard. So St. Nicholas goes, show me where you keep your finest meat so that I can undo your crime. And Père Fouettard, in his shame, leads him to the barrel. Take the lid off, and St. Nicholas looks into the barrel, and he sees the chopped up boys, and he's like, yo, God, I'm a saint, yo me that God magic, and he brings the 3 boys back to life. They raise from the dead, and he sends them on to their...
Here's what I want.
Yeah.
I want a story continuing from the boys' point of view, and their trauma, and how do you come back from that? How do you come back from being hacked to pieces to being so like, oh, our bad.
Get out of here,
kids. Just go home. Like, I love that story because I just want to know more.
Yo, absolutely.
I want to know more about the children and how fucked up they were.
I also just want more Christmas stories to have 3 undead children in it.
3 rich Christian children, boys, young fluffy boys.
And so they go
very Barber Street.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Poise, Mr. Poise.
Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd.
That was way too hard.
Poise. I don't do accents.
No, that was
great.
I
don't do musicals. I guess
that was a great accent. So they come back from the dead. He sends them on home, and then he looks at Père Fouettard, and different stories have different endings here.
Yeah.
But the kind of central one is he's like, you got three choices.
Yeah.
I either strike you down.
Yeah.
Or we absolve your sins in a lifetime of servitude to me.
I mean, if it's a lifetime, you're never gonna die.
And
so just strike me down.
So Père Fouettard's like, bro, I'll do it. I would like to see the glory in the kingdom of heaven, and if it takes forever for me to absolve my sins so that's possible, I'll take it. So Père Fouettard is still a horrible, murderous cannibal.
Yeah.
But then he becomes enslaved to Saint Nicholas. And so you're imagining, if you're Père Fouettard, you're probably like, oh, I got to be good now. And Santa's like, no, you're still going to whip children, and fuck, sometimes I'll let you eat some.
But this is the best.
Yeah,
like, you get
great.
everything. It's like, hey, you're a piece of shit, but do you want to continue being a piece of shit and get into heaven?
And you're immortal now. So Père Fouettard joins up. I have no idea what they do with the wife. She's in the story. She's mentioned. But then that's that.
That's most women in stories. Like,
right?
yeah, she's there.
Yeah.
She's there.
It's kind of a bummer.
To show he wasn't gay.
I just like that means, because Père Fouettard's kind of like evil Santa.
Yeah.
That means there's an evil Mrs. Claus. And I want to explore evil Mrs. Claus a little bit. Because Père Fouettard's the only one on this list who's married.
Yeah.
But so Père Fouettard travels.
That
to
girl
Santa's
had good taste.
I know.
She had good fucking taste.
I know.
This would have been a story on Reddit, relationship advice. My husband
Chopped up
kills
little boys.
and now he wants to be working with Santa and leave me alone. I don't know what the fuck, man.
Do you know what? She got a second chance of life there. I bet she was a nice old lady. Père Fouettard was abusing.
She's like, get the fuck out.
But Père Fouettard, that's him. He's great. Father Whipper's badass. I love that he takes being an anti-Claus so seriously that he's not just a murderous, horrible, all-clad in black figure.
Yeah.
He's also really skinny. And so, like, I like the pair. You got your plump little Santa, you got your tall, skinny, perfect. They're cute. They're cute in a horrible way.
I've seen pictures of them, and it's just the most unlikely duo.
Yeah.
And
except they both got big beards.
It's very
that matches
Pinky in the Brain, but switch.
You're right. I didn't catch that.
I know.
I love it.
But it's just the duality that gets me.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and we used to have duality. Now we don't have that. Now Santa encompasses everything.
Yeah.
All judgment. But in a way, that's a bit too tough. You can't be a...
And not only does he do it all by himself, he tends to just act like every kid's good. When's the last time you heard about a kid getting coal?
Never.
Exactly. We need our dark Santa
and now they have
back.
coal, but it tastes like chocolate.
Yeah, and then they got that one called Snowman Poop. I don't like that. I don't like Snowman Poop.
It should have been called Reindeer Poop.
No, they got reindeer poop too, but it's usually just chocolate-covered raisins, which is delightful. But, so that's Père Fouettard. He leads to one that I'm only going to talk about for exactly one. Also, that's the scariest fucking image in the world. It's a...
I think it's delightful.
It's an early 1900s French Christmas card.
We're looking at pictures of Père Fouettard.
Yeah.
Or pictures meaning costumes.
Yeah.
And do you think that was just a costume guy just dressing up?
Yeah, but it's fucking horrifying looking. And I like that those kids are crying for real.
I love it. But also, I love the switch right there.
Yeah.
And look at the picture above with Père Fouettard, how skinny.
Yeah, with Santa. Well, St. Nicholas. There is a difference, technically. All right. Next. This one, advisory warning. Next is Zwart Piet.
This is kind of...
So,
we do not condone this behavior.
So, the Netherlands, as they say sometimes, be wilden. And...
There's be wilded, and then there's just like, no, this fine. It's fine.
So apparently, there's a lot of contradictory information surrounding him, but ultimately, what you got to know is that their version of Saint Nicholas is called Sinterklaas. It's one word, Sinterklaas.
S-I-N-T-E-R.
And it's also where we get our name Santa Claus. It was Dutch immigrants.
Sinterklaas.
Yeah, we took Sinterklaas and heard it wrong really bad, and it became Santa Claus. But
American.
Also, Sinterklaas is one word, so like we really fucked it up. We split that shit into a first name and a last name, which is great. But Sinterklaas, for bajillion years in their history, had no companion.
Yeah.
He would just on St. Nicholas Day as a saint, he would come and sometimes be gifts. But they put most of their gift-giving tradition on an entity called Christkindl. And that's also one word.
And he's a representation of Christ.
Correct.
That's what I know. He's like the Jesus version of Santa.
Correct.
And he's like angelic. And so there are different types of Santas. Like as we talked about, old lady, young lady, frau's, grandmas, and then Christ
figures.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And
we were out really late last night, and I'm afraid it's really showing on me.
You're good.
Oh my god, because I'm like, yeah.
No.
Yes, King.
No, you also the fact you know what Chris Kindle is puts you 1,000 steps ahead of most people.
Because I've heard that there was there's Chris Kringle, and then I think there was even some stop motion animations about Chris Kringle. Or the word Chris Kringle, the name Chris Kringle.
And you
say that 50 times. Chris Kringle.
I don't want to.
I can't do it.
So Chris Kringle, as two separate names, comes from Chris Kindle, but just like Sinterklaas, Chris Kindle's one word.
Yeah.
And it means Christ child. And they believed, and actually some cultures still believe this, or believe in quotes, their gift-giving Christmas tradition is on Christmas, the Chris Kindle comes and gives toys to all children.
Yeah.
Good or bad doesn't factor in at all. It's just all children. And it's usually just one toy. Yeah. While those traditions still celebrate St. Nicholas Day.
Yeah.
And on St.
That's December 6th, right?
December 6th. And St. Nicholas generally doesn't give great toys or anything. He's more like he gives like candy and treats and maybe a small trinket. I think
those time for poor children, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Something different, something good. Willy Wonka much.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And the thing with the St. Nicholas Day is he did care about good and bad. Even traditions where he doesn't have a dark helper, you're a bad kid, you don't get something from him. But Chris Kindle doesn't care. You are a child of God, you get a gift no matter what. Well, in the Netherlands, they have their Chris Kindle and they have their St. Nicholas Day.
Get ready for this. Good. We have people coming in just for this story.
Bummer. Bummer for them. Bummer for us.
You guys committed the best time.
So, ultimately, for hundreds and hundreds of years, St. Nicholas in the Netherlands did not travel with a helper. Mm-hmm. But then, suddenly, out of nowhere, he started traveling with Père Fouettard. But then, people seemingly forgot Père Fouettard's name. So then he just traveled with an unnamed servant, and like in quotes, it was unnamed servant was. So their traditions generally, when somebody dressed up as the unnamed servant, he looked like Père Fouettard. He was an old skinny guy with a long beard and a wicker basket on his back. But then in 1850, a guy illustrated a book, and it took off in the Netherlands, got really popular, and he drew unnamed servants. I guess he read the word servants and was a racist Netherlands guy in 1850. And he drew him as a Spanish Moor, which isn't inherently problematic or inherently racist. But that's the crux moment. That's the launch point where we get Zwarte Piet. And high levels in life.
Hey, baby, how you doing?
Oh, do we need to turn our audio up?
Is our, oh, yeah, it is low. Holy shit, that's my bad.
Thank you for letting us know.
Saying something. No, thank you.
Yeah.
That's probably this is. You know what? It was real. Oh my god! We've been doing this for how many minutes? 40 minutes.
That's.
Did I mess up anything? Okay.
Nope. Thank you so much, though.
Thank you so much.
This is our first day on this channel, as opposed to the channel we used to be on.
I'm usually streaming. We have streamed this on my channel personally, and my stuff's already set up. So today we went through a couple of changes, ups and downs, and of course, probably while testing out, I messed up the mic. We're here.
No, it's fine. Thank you, though.
And let's talk about Black Pete.
Yay! So, ultimately, he got drawn and colored as a Spanish Moor.
Yeah.
And way back in the day, Europeans called any, basically just Muslims that were in Europe, they called them Moors.
Yeah.
And in Spain, for whatever reason, the Spain felt really far away from the Netherlands to them. They acted like it was this very exotic. How far
away is Spain?
Not far at all. But they acted like it was this very far, exotic place. And what ended up happening was they drew him as the type of Muslims from North Africa.
Yeah.
And it took off. That was that was what his helper looked like.
Yeah.
And then his name didn't settle. And so it wasn't until really 1920 that his name was set hard as Zwarte Piet, a.k.a. Black Pete. And the thing was, part of the reason his name was even that, it wasn't just his look, it was the fact that, realistically, he was originally Père Fouettard.
Yeah.
And Father Whipper was described as Santa in black or Santa in rags.
Covered in soot.
Right.
So
it floated around.
Yes.
But it evolved where Black Pete was a Spanish Moor. And then as society progressed and St. Nicholas started evolving, Zwarte Piet did not evolve. So people who are in the Netherlands and stuff, it's a very important tradition to them, and I'm not going to talk total shit about it, but I will say that
we should have Robert on.
It's hard to look at Zwart Piet and not cringe a bit. He is a very racist depiction of a African servant.
He was in Atlanta too. He was in Atlanta.
In the show Atlanta. It's hilarious.
You told me about this, where these two characters who are black go to Netherlands.
Yeah, they're in Amsterdam. Yeah,
they see Saint Nick, and then they see a little kid dressed as Zwart Piet, which is blackface. Everybody does blackface.
It's always blackface.
It's a very white country. Yeah. Everybody does blackface, and if you Google it,
you'll get some pictures that, as an American, are tricky. They are tricky pictures.
It's something where they've recently tried to turn into, he's covered in soot.
Yeah.
But instead of looking like Dick Van Dyke from Mary Poppins, because that's a guy covered in soot.
Yeah.
This is a total racist caricature.
Yeah, I will just
like I said, we're gonna kind of.
I will.
Do that.
My last real comment about Zwart Piet is, I guess my last comment. My last comment's about this element of him is going down chimneys may cover your face in soot, but it does not make you grow an afro. It doesn't do that.
Those 5 C curls just from going down the goddamn.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Oh my god.
But yeah,
it kills me.
So he's of all of the Santa companions, he's probably the most problematic.
Yeah.
But he's really popular. He's still huge in the Netherlands.
He's huge.
He's a massive part of the.
If you go on Google Images and look up Zwart Piet, there are images from 2021, 2022, 2020.
And it's these massive festivals where everybody.
People are like, hey, that's racist. They're like, that's okay.
Yeah,
he's our guy.
Yeah, he's Zwart Piet.
You don't worry about it.
And they're in like frighteningly horrible blackface. It's crazy.
Bright red lips.
Bright red lips. The whole it is
so
very. And he wears like Renaissance garb for some reason.
We don't condone. He wears the kind of trooper or troubadour kind of outfit.
Yeah, big poofy shoulders.
We don't condone Zwart Piet, but he is a very interesting figure for a Santa assistant.
Especially,
and he also steals children. Does he beat them?
There we go. And so, classically, because he was born of Père Fouettard, his job is he would travel Saint Nick, and Saint Nick would do all the fun, good parts, and then Zwart Piet did all the bad stuff. So Zwart Piet would he'd whip him, but like. Not as bad as some of these other guys.
Yeah.
His big thing is he had a big giant burlap sack. And he would come into the house, and then St. Nicholas would be like, sorry, parents, these kids have been bad. And this Zwart Piet would chase the children around. And then if they were like humble and respectful and were like, do you know what?
We're sorry.
I'm so sorry, I'm bad.
You don't deserve that.
Then the warning would be established.
Yeah.
And they'd be fine. But if they ran from him and they acted scared and they didn't atone,
they didn't acknowledge that they were assholes.
Then he would scoop them up, throw them in his bag, and here's where it gets great. And then
this whole time hasn't been great.
Oh yeah,
it's been great. I love it. It's my favorite.
He would take them back to Spain because in the Netherlands, Saint Nicholas and Zwart Piet, instead of like living in the North Pole, they live in Spain for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, I would want to live in Spain too if it was winter. I mean, okay, let's see.
Oh yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and just interesting. Changing of the times. In the past, really 15 years or so, there are massive outspoken anti-Zwart Piet movements in the Netherlands, but they are really just in the past 15 years, and. Honestly, he's evolved a lot. Like you were talking about the sooty.
They're trying to make him more into a figure with soot.
One of the other approaches they've taken is
that
because he's a magical figure.
Yeah.
They've also started just doing where people will wear full like purple makeup, and somebody else in the group will wear full orange, and someone else will wear full.
So he's more just like a fae.
He's just a magical.
They're trying to make him a fae,
right?
And it's like. Okay, I could go with that. Just go with the fae creature.
And it's interesting.
Don't make him into a Spanish.
Yeah, but it's fine. It's I'm not from the Netherlands. It's just an interesting thing that's hard to look at.
We're gonna look at from over here and be like,
yeah,
look at that.
That's actually why that clip from Atlanta is so good to me, because it's specifically seeing Donald Glover just being like,
okay, whatever.
And he does this cute little wave to the kid, like
look up Atlanta's Zwart Piet. It's pretty good because he's just like. Oh, I guess this is happening.
So, and that's actually also all the way from Ireland. Thanks for watching. That's super cool.
What's going on, sweetie? This guy is a treasure trove of information and interesting facts.
Just about weird shit.
But also, we love weird shit. That does not mean we're correct about any of this.
Oh,
Actually, Zwart Piet we're correct about. A lot of stuff we are correct
I was going to say, though, this really is. It's not like it's, in the region surrounding the Netherlands. It's just the Netherlands.
Yeah.
And it's really...
This isn't...
It doesn't
like,
spill out at all.
This isn't in Ireland. This isn't in Europe, obviously. But or that part of Europe.
But if you want to Google it, it's pretty interesting, actually. The fact also that their St. Nicholas or their Santa lives in Spain is just so fun to me. Because they're like the only culture, one of the only cultures, where their St. Nicholas isn't from somewhere magical. He's just from, he's from Spain.
I kind of wish there was a practice among... countries with people with darker skin tones where they do whiteface. Yeah, that would be hilarious to me. Well, that would be so. I would laugh my ass off.
There's some traditions, but like not in the same way, and it's usually done with with fine ash. Fine ash. But
so there's the type of whitening person. Yeah. But
actually, no joke. In some traditions, people who depict Saint Nicholas, even if they're already white, they will use the ash to get really white. Yeah, no joke. It's real.
That's blue vein white.
But ultimately, though, my favorite thing about Zwart Piet, my final comment on him, also Zwart Piet translates to Black Pete, is when he would kidnap the children, put them in the burlap bag, and take them back to Spain. In some traditions, they would stay with him for 1 year, and during that time, he would transform them into a thing called the Zwart Pieten. And the Zwart Pieten are also Zwart Piets. And if for some reason he dies, the next Zwart Piet activates.
Are you saying...
How fucking great is that?
Did you ever play Final Fantasy IX?
Yeah.
You know the mages where they're copied and they're produced?
Yeah.
That's what Zwart Piet is Kuja! Zwart Piet is Kuja! I'm sorry.
But he is. Holy shit.
Guys, we just had a breakthrough. I'm also replaying Final Fantasy IX.
So stop it. But also, robes and stuff, colorful robes, and blackface. Incredible. So that's Zwart Piet. I'm gonna move on from him because he's very, very strange and very silly, and he's not nearly as fun as my favorite one, Hans Trapp.
Okay.
So
I didn't get much into Hans Trapp, so I'm actually looking forward to
Hans Trapp is so
we had a very big document with all this information.
So I just want to hit all the naughty boys.
And by the way, I am not ignoring y'all. I am just making sure we are running fine on my phone, etc., etc.
Oh yeah, Levels and Lives. That's exactly where we're headed next. We're talking about some of those other strange European traditions. They're awesome. Like I love all of these. Just unfortunately, I am an ignorant American who had very little exposure to the whole concept of Santa, or Saint Nicholas, even having companions.
We actually kind of discussed that, like how
Canada and the U.S. we don't have the naughty end. We don't have a figure that is dedicated to doling out the punishment.
What is it? The what boys? The
Yule lads, which are delightful, and I love.
So this is the whole point of the podcast. This is so much fun because we do live in pretty. I don't know if whitewashed is the right word.
Yeah, it's close.
It's more just
it's in the ballpark. No, it's just our. We have the most commercialized Christmas ever. It's commercialized all over the world, but we have the most commercialized Christmas.
We don't have stuff steeped in lore and Yule
our Christmas
and paganism.
Isn't thank you. It's not tied to these old traditions.
And this is where most of it's paganism. It's a paganism.
Oh yeah, and I love that about it. That's what makes it fun.
And also, Europe is closer to Asia Minor, and so that's where a lot of these origins came from, like Saint Nicholas
and Germany.
Germany's over there.
Germany spit out so many of these.
Love Germany,
but then they traveled from Germany.
They're so intense.
Like Hans Trapp. So Hans Trapp's dope as fuck. I love him. So first off, he's based off a real guy, and not like real guy like religious connotations where maybe he's real, maybe it's just religious myth or something.
Yeah.
That is true. That's absolutely true. Levels and Lives, 100% true. It's not even just like an urban legend that everyone thinks is true. He was always depicted wearing black and brown and gray.
I've also seen blue and white and silver.
Before,
and that's more in Swedish culture.
Right. It was literally Coca-Cola that it was their set of ads that transformed him to red and white, which has been that way ever since. Which is fucking wild. Yay, commercialist America! Woo!
I mean, whoever did that marketing, because I work in video game marketing, genius. I'm just like, that was fucking. I wish I thought of that.
Yeah,
I could have gotten that money.
That's how I feel about the Dos Equis guy. They cracked it. Oh, actually, Corona. That's what it is. The lime in Corona.
Yeah.
That was a marketing thing,
Yeah.
and I'm always just like, that son of a bitch is so fucking smart.
And then we got hit with Corona.
Because
virus.
then Arthur sucks a lot, which is very funny. But
Hans Trap.
So Hans Trap.
This is an ADD channel. We will go off topic many times.
And that's the plan, unfortunately, because that's how we talk to each other as friends.
This is a conversation with us. Like, this is us, except we're not as high.
Yeah, true.
I would be eating so much.
So Hans Trap's whole deal. He's a real historical figure.
Yeah.
Who absolutely existed that you can look up. And his real name was Hans von Trotha. He was a French noble. Mm-hmm. Who lived around the regions of, I'm going to mispronounce the fuck out of this, Alsace and Lorraine. Mm-hmm. And apparently he was a real piece of shit that everybody hated.
I love it. Oh my God, what does this sound like?
Yeah.
What does this sound like?
Some of my favorite people. But Hans von Trotha, I'm not going to talk too much about the real figure because it doesn't really matter. The one thing I will say, though, is he got in a fight with the Catholic Church. And it escalated so bad that the King of France sent envoys to him and was like, yo, fucking stop. And then
he was that bad.
And his response was, he was like, no, the Catholic Church knows what it did, fuck them. So then the Pope himself got directly involved and was like, hey bro, we're gonna have to excommunicate you if you don't cut out your issues with this abbey. And Hans von Trotha's response to that is he basically called the Pope like an evil pedophile.
Oh, hey, thank you, Zach.
Oh, hi, Zach.
Hope you're feeling better. How are you?
Thank you so much.
Dude, I love you. Wait, who else?
Oh,
La Poopsie.
Thank you for you too.
The Poopsie. We love you. By the way, you guys, I'm just making sure we're live and we're looking good and I'm not missing shit. And Kyle's got y'all.
Thank you so much for coming in here, Zach.
No, thanks.
Zach's got.
I know you've been sick.
He's got COVID right now.
Rachel, don't kick him out. Don't kick him out.
But so ultimately, though, he got excommunicated from the church, and then during this conflict, listen to this piece of shit. There was an abbey.
Yeah.
He was fighting with, and he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys want water? Well, that river runs through my noble lands, so I'm going to build a dam, and everyone in your abbey."
I remember the story.
It's fucking great.
Y'all, he's so fucked up.
I love it. So the abbey was like, "Hey, bro, you stole our water, and we're all going to die." And he was like, "Oh, you want water so bad?" So then he broke the dam he built, which then flooded the town that the abbey served. And he was like, "Suck on that, abbey." Which, like, what was this guy's fucking problem? Regardless.
I think he sounds like a friend.
None of this is myth.
Yeah.
Everything I just said happened.
And this is a real person.
Hans von Trotha. And when he eventually he died, just natural causes, yada yada, and he was so hated in the region that like myths about him just continued to live on.
I hope I'm that famous locally.
Oh.
I hope I get a myth. I don't want to be hated though.
Oh,
I kind of want to be hated.
Yeah, just
like,
a little bit.
I just like. Ooh.
Well, what's the point unless you're remembered as like a dark spirit?
Sounds like the Grinch. Oh.
Yep. So I love that you said that. Today, while thinking about these figures, I was like, it's kind of funny if we like keep it up.
Yeah.
Grinch could wind up being our Krampus or our Hans Trap or like. But he's uniquely American.
He won in the end,
and he's a fuzzy little monster.
Yeah.
But like
better than Black Pete.
Yeah, and thank God he's not Black Pete. But so Hans von Trotha, he's horrible. He did all this shit, and eventually, after his death, he was so hated and reviled in the region that ultimately myths stayed and mutated and evolved, and eventually people started blaming things on him. When bad things happened, it was the ghost, and his name evolved. They forgot who they were even talking about over time, hundreds of years. So they started calling him Hans Trap. And the ghost of Hans Trap was blamed for everything. This evil, vicious figure.
What a great scapegoat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you fuck up, it's
Hans Trap, yeah.
Hans Trap was fine.
And so his history, instead of being the real life of Hans von Trotha, the history of Hans Trap was that he was a powerful, respected noble with evil desires and unsatiable greed. And Hans Trap wanted more.
Yeah.
So he made a deal with the devil. And the devil gave him magic and gave him even more wealth and more political influence, more power, and it wasn't enough for him. And the Pope was like, "Holy shit, bro, you made a deal with the devil." So the Pope excommunicated him. And when he did, because he was no longer tied to the church, he no longer had God's protection.
Is there documentation of this?
Yeah.
Like, how do you prove someone had a deal with the devil?
Yeah.
Like, that's what I want to see.
Well, keep in mind, everything, once his name transformed into Von Trapp, at that point, all the shit's made up, but it was believed.
Okay.
So, when his name was Hans von Trotha, that shit you can all prove is true. But as Hans Trapp, he gets excommunicated, and without God's protection anymore, he loses all his wealth.
Yeah.
He loses all of his power. He loses his noble titles, so he's not able to keep his castle or anything. And he becomes this homeless, evil peddler.
Yeah.
And he roams the countryside being evil and doing evil things. And eventually he travels into Germany, where all this shit's from. And he's in the region of Bavaria. And in Bavaria, he sets up this little hovel that he lives out of. And he does more evil. And he uses more witchcraft. And he contacts the devil. And he decides, after doing all the worst, most horrible things he could possibly do, he decides he wants to taste human flesh.
Yeah.
Back on that cannibalism.
Whoa, this is the theme. I think every episode we have is gonna have cannibalism. We have talked about cannibalism like every freaking episodes.
Yeah, in a row now on accident.
So we've had another. For those of you who are coming in, we had another Santa Claus figure that was into cannibalism. Last week we talked about Wendigos, which was about cannibalism.
Yep.
It's just you know what? I think this is a sign.
Yep. It's a cannibal podcast.
Yeah. I mean, Zach, fine. Let's fatten someone up. Let's go. So we're gonna be we're called the Wendigos. The Wendigos.
Also, I do like that viewer count's actually actively wrong because we know that those three are here.
No, so there's like 5-6 people actually. I looked. That's why I was looking. So sorry. I've been on my phone. I noticed that. And I'm like, I'm being an asshole. But I was looking. And I was like, I see 7 names. Yeah. It's like 6 names, but it's weird. It's Twitch.
As I said, we're also on this channel for the first time ever, so it's a different experience.
We're starting from ground zero. We were on mine, which had about 4,000 guys, but this is what we're doing. We love this shit, and we like to punish ourselves. We like it. We like it hard. We like it tough. Okay,
but
give me stuff. Give me views.
Ultimately, while he was homeless in Bavaria, and making deals with the devil and stuff, he decided that the last thing he had cross off his list was to taste human flesh. So he started dressing up as a scarecrow. And this is why I love Hans Trapp so much. And he would set himself up as a fake scarecrow at lonely, ill-traveled roads. And then when people would pass, if he thought they were easy mark, he would jump them and steal their shit and whatnot. But he was waiting because he specifically wanted to taste child flesh. And one day, he's on the side of this Bavarian countryside.
Now I'm curious about child flesh. Okay, go on, but now I'm curious.
We're not successful enough. Once we're in that elite, then we get to have
once we get to that tax bracket, we'll start, and we'll be like, fuck Orlanders.
We'll get our child sashimi.
We want child flesh.
So he's on the side of the road, and he sees a 10-year-old shepherd boy, and he's like, hell yeah. And he pops off of his perch, and he stabs the boy in the neck, according to the legends. And then he takes him home to his little castle, and he slices him into tiny, thin little slices. Yeah. And then he goes to cook it, and he's enjoying the fat bristling off of it and the smell of that boy flesh. And he goes to take his first bite. And then, according to legend, God himself goes, whoo, I let this thing go way too far, way too long. And
God's bad at this.
And he immediately
he's not good at
strikes Hans Trapp with lightning.
Yeah.
And it burns down his hovel and it kills Hans Trapp instantly.
Yeah.
And as it does, according to some legends, the fat from the meat splashed in the lightning and it cooked his face in such a way where the skin on the top of his head curled up in heat and made little horns out of flesh and exposed his skull. And then he died. So Hans Trapp dies, and now his ghost haunts the French countryside, and everything's blamed on Von Trapp. Just a Hans Trapp. Everything's, which is great. I wish I had a Hans Trapp. But then one Christmas,
I'll start doing that when I start fucking like with Hans Trapp.
Fucking Hans Every time Trapp. I God. So he's literally a demonic French noble cannibal scarecrow.
Yeah.
Which is like the most Christmassy shit I can think of.
Can we, Rachel? y'all need to get a scarecrow, but we decorate that for Christmas.
Aw,
I know, right? And also, someone made a good point. We did talk about Until Dawn levels. We did. So sorry, I'm just reading the comments. We did talk about it. It was in our first episode about really great scary games, and then Wendigo for the second.
As well.
And I keep telling him to play the fucking game. So now this is a sign you have to play the game because it's actually a really fun game.
Yeah, I will at some point.
And then being a jerk to being a cannibal, I love it.
That's the pipeline. Yeah, absolutely. That's how it works.
Boy Scudo.
Yeah, it's like prosciutto. It's prosciutto.
Zach also brought up Book Army Hammer that he's available. I think he's back in business. I think he's getting back into movies. I think that blew over. But yeah, cannibalism is now the theme of every fucking, well, one of the themes. But okay, so Scarecrow, cannibal, demonic,
French noble. So one Christmas season,
the missing fifth musketeer.
there's apparently, according to some myths, there's a little girl, and she's like writing Saint Nick, and she's like, Santa, I'm really scared of Honstrap. He always wants to eat my face. I want Honstrap to go away. So Santa, or Saint Nicholas, is like, I got this on lock. I can do this. So Santa comes and he's delivering presents to everybody. And he goes to the burnt down hovel of Honstrap, and according to the best French legends, fucking St. Nicholas uses his god power to summon the ghost, the spirit of Honstrap. And there's no deal, there's no offer. He just goes, listen here, motherfucker. You are now my eternal slave, and I will use you for my dark deeds. And so Honstrap is...
I think Santa has a bad boy thing.
Yeah,
I think he's got a bad boy. I think he's like Will Turner in Hannibal... and the show Hannibal, he's got a thing for fucking psychos.
Oh, he does.
I love it.
I respect it. I mean,
Will Turner.
Between Cadet Ruprecht and Poifetar and Hans Trap, not Zwart Piet, but those three, they're hot.
They're tall? Emaciated?
No, okay. Poifetar is emaciated. Yeah, he's not hot, I suppose. But Cadet Ruprecht and Hans Trap got to go.
If you're a tall guy, you get away with everything. You get away with everything. If you're a tall guy, well, was he tall?
Yeah.
Was he over 6'5"? It's fine.
Ultimately, Hans Trap's one of the more obscure on this list. The only regions that still celebrate him and like use him in their myths are Lorraine and Alsace in France.
And that's in France, yeah.
And it's just two. And
we should
they're
go
not
on an
cities.
anti-claus trip.
I kind of want to. That would be so fun. But ultimately, they believe, or not believe, but like their myths surrounding St. Nicholas is that on St. Nicholas Day Eve, St. Nicholas comes to town with Honstrap in tow.
Yeah.
And Honstrap, because he's a ghost, he's literally a scarecrow ghost with a charred face and horns. He doesn't.
That should be a video game enemy. Yeah. If there are any game designers listening, I'm gonna totally tell a friend actually because I have some friends who work at various companies. I'm like, hey, so look up Honstrap.
Yeah.
There's an idea.
He's fucking rad. He's got the right stuff for like a good horror movie entity.
Yeah.
Like the same way they made that Krampus movie, you actually could do a Honstrap thing. The image of like his skin fried and curled up.
That's terrifying.
It's fucking awesome.
I'd actually like to see that in a movie.
Yeah.
So I wonder if there's some indie films where they have Honstrap.
I checked.
They don't.
There's not. No.
Shit. Well.
And also, here's a depiction of him right there. That's an old timey one. Yeah. Yeah, he's got good thighs.
Wait. Is that his horns right up there?
Yeah. Well, in this depiction, yeah. And then the black face is because he's supposed to have a charred face from the lightning.
So they just couldn't artistically do that well.
Yeah. Also, that's Chris Kindle, for the record. So in the current day myths, he travels as...
Oh my god, I can see the fan fiction already.
Oh, hell yeah.
I can see the... Imp Greg. I'm sorry.
I'm not doing the Imp Greg chat with you. I'm not doing it. But Honstrap, Chris Kindle, and St. Nicholas travel all together on the same day. And ultimately, St. Nick gives treats and candies. Chris Kindle gives you badass toys. And then Honstrap, if you've been naughty, he either whips you with sticks, or if and only if St. Nicholas isn't paying attention, he'll try to cut off a piece of you and eat it.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Also, I could just imagine some like fluffy gnome going, I've been so naughty, do I get whipped? Ooh, and then they try to eat him, he's like, wait, no, don't
fucking eat me. I thought you were the other one. I thought you were Poifetar. But yeah, so he's dope. He's my favorite Christmas entity by far because... What the fuck? That's so... That's so fucked up.
Well, it's the fact that while cooking children, God was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker," and the skin peel is a pleasant image in my mind.
It's so fun,
and it's such a fantastic. It's like a Sailor Moon transformation, but the opposite.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just this whole message of you have the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the Kris Kringle, the Santa Claus, and then you have some fucking asshole.
Yeah, who wants to eat
cannibal.
And who wants to chop off pieces of you.
And I wonder whoever invented these, if they had some kind of issues going on.
Well, so we'll get into that a little bit.
That's
so the last little piece about them that I just really enjoy is in Lorraine, still to this day, they do a festival. That part of it, there's like a procession, like a little what's it, parade, and in it, one of the carts.
We were out really late last night.
One of the carts is led by our boy Hans Trapp, and when he shows up, he's in like his living form.
Yeah.
And he has a whip. But then I love this. They still do this to this day. His cart has a giant iron cage, and it's filled with children covered in ash, and they're all like screaming and crying out for help and like reaching out of the bars and shit.
I bet that's how some kids found out they want to be actors. Like I
probably,
was put in the cart and I was covered in dust and I found my calling.
I love it. And they still do it to this day. It's just like to them that's Christmassy.
I want to go see these things.
Me too.
Man, American Christmas traditions suck.
They're not scary anymore.
They're so lame. Like I want to be terrified. I want to be terrified at the age of that.
I'm already really Christmassy. But, like, as a kid, had I been exposed to these monsters, I would be obsessed with Christmas. I'd be a Christmas year-round kind of guy.
Hallmark Christmas movie?
Yeah. Why hasn't that happened?
Because we haven't made it, Kyle.
Levels and Lives, you are absolutely correct. The Child Catcher. And
is that a movie?
No, he's just saying. Because it's like a dog catcher. He's got this big cart full of screaming children. But there are entities that we're about to cover who... child catching is their whole shit. That's the whole shebang. And he's kind of on that a little bit. The only thing with him, though, is that he only feasts on or only or only kidnaps children sometimes if St. Nicholas isn't watching him.
Yeah.
That's St. Nicholas has to have an ever-present eye on him. Next is the classic. Everybody knows him. Everybody loves him. It's time for fucking Krampus.
And he is beloved. Did I ever tell you I went to a Krampus party?
No.
I lived in California. And I was invited to a Krampus party.
That's awesome.
And it was very cool. Mm. It was a bunch of people dressed up like Krampus. It was actually pretty solemn.
Yeah.
Like they were out on the floor and they were huffing. Like the costume artistry was amazing.
They're incredible. Yeah.
I was a little freaked out for a second because you know how you have that moment where like this isn't real, but probably what if it?
Yeah. What if those were fucking Krampuses?
Was I a girl?
Yeah.
And I was like, probably not that year.
Yeah.
But not in my California 20 years. But it was actually, and I wish, I'm going to see if Houston, we live in Houston.
We don't, I checked.
Well, it was in Gardena.
I want to start it.
And it was at the Alpine Village. So it was already had like a Germanic kind of heritage to the site. And we had a band and it was like a metal band, but it was kind of a very Wardruna kind of esque.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
That's awesome.
But it was awesome.
That sounds so fun.
Some people were really into it. There were white Krampuses, black Krampuses, brown Krampuses. And I never got to experience that again. For some reason, I just never got to do it. Shit happens. But if it's possible to go to a Krampus party and if it's legit and they actually take it seriously, do it. Because it's fucking weird. No, and it's creepy. Krampus is creepy.
Krampus is creepy.
He just is. He's scary.
Yeah. So for those people who somehow have managed to make it to 2022 without knowing what a Krampus is, Krampus is a singular entity, which makes the Krampus, they're called Krampus lofts, but like Krampus parties. What makes them weird is they have lots of Krampi. But there's only one entity, and his name specifically is Krampus. There is a lot of conflicting story about how he came to be, why there was Krampus. Some people trace it back to Norse mythology.
Yeah.
Germanic specifically, but there is exactly one text that claims that Hel, the daughter of Loki, she has a lot of children and offspring, and there's one text that names one of her children as Krampus.
That's what I read.
And
if anybody's gonna be a child of Hel, that would be Krampus.
Yeah, and he's always been associated with like winter spirits and stuff. But we'll get remember in the beginning of this when I mentioned Frau Perkta.
Hell yeah.
So her holy night, where her horrible children, the Perkten, went off, was December 5th. Mm-hmm. Germans call December 5th Krampusnacht. And Krampusnacht is its own separate festive holiday.
Yeah.
The difference is where December 6th is St. Nicholas Day, and it's pleasant and it's fun and it's about toys. Krampusnacht is a horror holiday. It's about being scared. It is about driving evil spirits from this earth, and it's the night Krampus runs.
I think it's also facing your sins.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
it's the end of the year. What the fuck have you done?
But Krampus...
Have you done well? Have you done bad?
Yeah.
Or you're going to go up against a mirror, and you may be punished. And that maybe Krampus is a form of karma. Well, all of these are a form of karma. Santa is karma incarnated.
Yeah.
I said that so good.
But
I said that good.
But you're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. And Krampus is the easiest to imagine why he is the punisher of children and stuff, because he's literally a black furred, shaggy, 7 foot tall, ram horned devil figure.
How many monster fuckers want to fuck him?
Oh, dude, Krampus is hot. You know it.
Who I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm not sure Krampus is her type.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Maybe you can correct me on that.
You know what? Our friends, a lot of our friends are monster fuckers.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I see it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We all grew up with Beauty and the Beast, and we all know he was hotter before he turned
was.
back.
When he turned around, I was like, I'll take it. 6-year-old me going, okay.
One thing about Krampus that gets forgotten in modern depictions of him that I find really interesting. So normally he has like the classic like goat satyr legs and the big ram and stuff.
Pan.
In all the old, like literally all the old depictions of him, both his legs were goat legs, but one leg ended in a hoof and the other ended in a foot. And like,
do you think it's a type of mythology of him being? Remember how we talked about the sins of Pan being a cryptid?
Yeah.
Maybe he is somewhat a form of demonizing paganism even further.
Ah,
there you
you're
go.
right on it.
With Christian mythology.
You're so good at this shit.
Well, we like the same thing.
Oh, Zach, you got also that tongue though, and yeah, that Krampus is probably, besides being a horrible horned monster, his most wonderful and distinct feature is his like 3 foot long forked tongue, which apparently, according to myths, he loves to lick children with, which is
that ruined it for me.
All Christmassy.
That really ruined it for me because I was like, oh what?
Nah, he likes to lick. He likes to lick kids.
It's been a while.
Okay. You know what? It's still the holiday season. You can
summer of Christmas the Gene
Simmons of Christmas monsters. Yeah, he is. No, the tongue is iconic, and if for some reason something happened to it, his whole image would be ruined.
Did I ever tell you how Gene Simmons trolled me at Comic-Con? He was walking by with his security, and I was like, oh, and he's like, oh, and I'm like, oh.
No, you never told me that.
Yeah, then my coworkers were super jealous of me.
Are you positive it was Gene Simmons and it wasn't Krampus?
I hope it was Krampus. Just with that 3 foot tongue.
Actually, also, that's Brad. I had no idea. That's hilarious.
You know what? I was telling a story about my 20s to my hairstylist. She's like, holy shit. I'm like, you're right. I have done a lot. Anyway.
No, Brad. You did. You did.
I'll live my life. Okay.
But,
so Krampus.
So Krampus, he carries muddles, sticks to hit kids with.
Yes.
He has a wicker basket on his back for kidnapping children.
Yeah.
So far, we've got the sticks from Knecht Ruprecht.
Yeah.
We've got the wicker basket from Père Fêtard.
Yeah.
We've got December 5th from Frau Perkta and her Perkten. You kind of notice he's just all of them at once. He's got the horned and the black charred face from Hans Trapp.
Yeah.
Like Krampus
Let's just put these in a box and shake.
And spit out a Krampus. And there are some people, because it's so unknown where his origins are from.
Yeah.
There's some people who do not believe his connection to Norse mythology and have good reason not to. That think that he's actually a fairly modern in the grand scheme of things. Some of these figures have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Krampus really, you don't start finding his name in writing until the 1800s.
That's what I thought. Like, because when I was doing research as well, I was like, he's young.
Yeah.
He's a baby, and he's such a like you'd think he was made in the 5th century.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm looking at it and I'm like, you are fucked up for 18th century.
No, totally. And that's kind of why Krampus, in some ways, compared to some of these other companions, he's the coolest looking, but he's kind of the poser of the group. Because he's just the concept of St. Nicholas's dark companion made even worse over time.
Yeah.
He's not really his own guy. He doesn't have this ancient lineage the same way as they do. Or if he does, it's very lost, and we can thank the Catholic Church for that.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. So, I'm not going to spend too much time on Krampus besides the fact that December 5th on Krampusnacht is...
He's just lashing out.
Yeah, because he's young. He's young compared to these guys.
Lashing out with his tongue.
But Krampusnacht is badass, and Krampus lofts are awesome, and they've been going on since the 1800s. or maybe a little bit earlier, but it's hard to prove. On a traditional Krampusloft, so what you went to technically counts as one.
Yeah.
A traditional one are wild. They're not really parties. What would happen is a group of men in these German regions would dress up as Krampus.
Yeah.
And then they would arm themselves with switches and sticks and stuff. And then they would prowl through the town. And if you were brave and you just kind of like faced them and watched them, you were left alone.
Yeah.
And if you showed fear, then the Krampuses would chase you and whip you with the sticks. And things.
How is this legal?
But it's not even myth. It's just what they did. Krampuslofts today don't do that except for in very rural regions where they still do that. I was very I kept this.
Googling and would like to do it because you want to do it.
I totally want to do it. But in the big cities, Krampuslofts have evolved where like generally there'll be a metal concert and there's pyrotechnics and fire eaters and fire swallowers, and the Krampuses are just a parade and a part of the show. I did read, this is a great one, in Salzburg, and this is from 2 years ago, just to show that the tradition's still alive. So this was somebody who went to a Krampusloft in Salzburg. I'm just going to read their little review of it.
Yeah.
The narrow streets in the old city section of Salzburg were packed with pedestrians as the Krampus, Krampus, where you stretch out that last syllable, that's a group of Krampuses.
Yeah.
As the Krampus stomped through, many people were caught unaware and reacted with terror. Some would flee and try to seek refuge in a shop or restaurant, only be pursued by a determined Krampus. With so many easy targets, we again managed to escape largely unharmed. At times we were chased, jostled, and struck, but compared with the brutality we witnessed happening to others, it was obvious we'd been spared the full brunt of what Krampus could muster. Which, like, fuck, that sounds fun. I want to go and be in danger from rural fucks dressed as Krampus. That sounds awesome.
I'm gonna be in the hotel sipping my thing like, you go, honey.
As long as you have a good window
with
view.
Rachel and me and her like, you have fun, sweetie. With Poppy, and Poppy's just like, what's going on?
Also, for the record, there's a picture from that particular one.
That's an ugly those are ugly Krampuses.
Yeah.
I have to say our Krampuses were actually
like
much more primal.
Yeah.
They looked like animals.
Yeah.
And I probably have pictures lost somewhere.
So
ages ago.
these masks are like hyper traditional, which is in rural areas are much more common. They're made of wood.
Yeah.
And like the process of making them is part of the tradition. And the masks are called Perkton.
I can see
Which
see some friends of ours being Krampuses.
Oh yeah,
I almost said their name out loud.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you didn't.
I know.
But so that's Krampus. For being the most beloved and recognizable of the scary figures, there's not actually too much to say about him.
Yeah. He's just 200 years old, like 300 too.
It's up to debate. Probably 200 years old.
And the thing is, for Europe, that's really young.
That's young. That's nothing.
Old to Americans, but in Europe, like when I went to Italy, there were buildings that were like 800 thousands of years old.
Yeah.
So this is like, that's a baby. That's new. I think maybe.
But the thing with that though that is tricky is though he is new, he also might not be.
Yeah.
There is some proof that there's been winter traditions in the region that have existed for a long time, and that Krampus was a part of those, just under different names.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't want to read that from this distance. It's too many words.
I have a promotion of your channel. No.
The next two guys, we're gonna rapid fire through.
Yeah.
Are you ready for Parkelj?
I didn't read a lot about him, so I want to hear about this one.
Get ready.
I'm
ready?
Yeah.
He's Krampus. It's fine. Okay. The next.
Sorry, I just hit you.
The next one is Klauboff. You know what Klauboff's deal is?
No, is it Krampus?
He's just
Is
Krampus?
Krampus?
Fucking Krampus.
No, Klauboff. Klaus is what? Like Klaus.
Klaus is German.
Yeah, but like.
I don't know what it means. I think it's a derivative off of Nicholas. But Klauboff is one word, and he's also a Krampus. It's nothing. It's fine. With that, we're done with the nobodies. We're done with the bad boys who follow around St. Nicholas acting like they're tough, while really they just tap on their buddy like, hold me back, St. Nick.
I don't know, man. Someone who switches kids and eats them. Or they had to be contained.
Yeah.
That's just what I love. I'm gonna save your life, but you're gonna be solved. But you're still gonna have fun. You're still gonna fuck around and find out.
Sometimes I'll let you eat a kid. It's fine.
That kid must have been super shitty. So if you have kids, don't let them get eaten by Han's trap.
So now we move on.
Hopefully no kids are watching this. I forgot to put the mature rating on. My bad.
They gotta learn about Christmas, what it's supposed to be instead of what we celebrate. So next we got Belsnickel.
Krampus Echo Fighter?
Yeah.
Oh my, I had to check someone out from History said to some of the earliest known stuff. Crazy. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, Poppy's watching. So for those of you who don't know, Poppy's his dog, and she is a little fairy. She's adorable.
She's adorable.
I would love to have her on one day.
She responds to my voice over like video chats and calls, so that's really cute. Yeah, a lot of that Gaelic and Celtic history is so incredible.
Yeah, like as Americans, we're very jealous.
Yeah,
I want to go to Ireland. I want to go touch the green grass and be like, oh my god.
My heritage is Scotch Irish, but I have no like personal connection with it at all.
No, I think you have more connection with your Choctaw.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. So this guy's my favorite guy. I'm about to tell you my all-time favorite one.
Okay.
Hans Strauss, my favorite scary boy.
Who's your favorite good boy?
My favorite guy is Belsnickel.
Okay.
For those of you who have watched The Office, Belsnickel is in an episode of The Office, which is very dumb. It's very stupid. He is actively still used in some regions in Germany.
Yeah.
But very small regions. And then for some reason in Pennsylvania, which he's the only one who made it to America.
That makes sense.
Yeah, no, the German...
I'm surprised it's not in Fredericksburg.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
It's not. It's literally just Pennsylvania.
God damn it.
I don't know why. The Pennsylvania Dutch specifically brought Belsnickel over.
Yeah.
And what makes Belsnickel hilarious is, you know, all these guys we've been talking about?
Yeah.
They've all been companions of St. Nicholas.
Yeah.
Well, he's just as bad and just as horrible as all of them, but he doesn't travel with St. Nicholas. He's by himself. And those kids, their traditions, don't have a Santa or a St. Nick.
Yeah.
They just got Belsnickel. And he fucking sucks. I love it. So here's Belsnickel. He is a big man. He's got a big beard.
Love it.
He wears furs.
Love it.
So far, sounds like Santa.
Yeah.
He's got a big sack on his back.
Yeah.
Here's the differences. With his furs, he also has woven in animal bones.
Yeah.
And antlers. And straw. And trash.
So he's just a crazy Witch Woods lady.
Yes. His name, Belsnickel, is believed...
I just love the name.
Yeah, Belsnickel's fantastic. It also sounds Christmassy.
Yeah.
Belsnickel.
Yeah.
People believe it comes from German Pels, new word, nickel.
Yeah.
Nickel being a nickname for Nicholas, so St. Nicholas.
Yeah.
And then Pels meaning you're wearing pelts.
Yeah.
So he's Nicholas in furs. But then over time, it got shoved together and became Belsnickel, and it was its own name. Belsnickel's great, though. Here's what he does. I fucking love it. Step 1, he hates children. Awesome. Step 2, he either, depending on the tradition, he either, in all of his trash and his clothes, he has bells, or he carries a big bell. Doesn't matter.
For whipping?
No.
Oh.
All these other guys come on one particular night or one particular season. Not my man Belsnickel. He's too drunk for that shit. He comes anytime within 2 weeks before Christmas with no warning, just on any of the days, just whatever.
He's like your aunt coming over. Surprise!
Belsnickel, motherfucker! But he comes in your town square and he warns people that he's picked this town.
Yeah.
And he rings his bell, or you just hear his bells. And then people board up their doors and they lock their houses because you don't want to visit from Belsnickel. Then he comes to, if he's picked your house, he starts to hit your house with sticks.
Yeah.
And you have to open your door to him. You have to. Once you do,
Now, why do you have to?
Because he threatens to harm all the occupants if you don't. But, like, I couldn't find a myth where he actually does. But he barges on into the home once you've unlocked the door to him. And he comes in and he starts hurling insults at people. And he moves really erratically, apparently, like just very like snappy and wiggly and weird.
Yeah. So he's drunk.
Almost clearly.
Love it. He's a drunk
and he's
uncle.
angry.
He's an angry
he's
drunk
so
uncle.
angry.
And he's mad about politics.
And then he empties, I love this. Instead of that bag, it's not a bag of presents. It's a bag of soot. And which he carries with him. And then he also has a wooden walking stick.
Yeah.
But he brings presents because he's a solo act. His presents are small cakes, walnuts, and apples. And that's it. But also, they're unwrapped and they're in his pockets. And what he does is he walks out into your living room and he just empties his pockets all over the floor. And then if any kids reach for the stuff too quick, he beats them with the stick he carries.
If I'm ever an aunt, that's what I'm doing.
Dress up as Belsnickel, make him real again. Oh God. So yeah, Michigan Slim.
Hey baby, how you only whips with you and the bells.
Yeah, you're not quite wrong. This is why I love this fucking character. Is Belsnickel in different communities? He beats children either with his birch stick, or that big sack of soot he's carrying around. He just literally beats them with it, which is hilarious.
What? Okay. What is with the beating people? This has been a constant. Well, he seems what was it? The Office episode, wasn't it? Like
Levels of Lives.
Collect the medal.
We need to add to his myth, because I like the concept that this drunk asshole is just like, oh fuck, I forgot to bring presents for the kids. Luckily, I still got this Halloween candy.
And it's like old, and it's rotted, or it's
in his loose pockets,
stale.
which is great. Apparently,
it has hair on it and coin. Like
I mean, it would just, he wears fur and trash. Like that's exactly what it'd be.
Oh, he lives in L.A.
Yes, sadly, just Pennsylvania. In Germany.
Smarties.
Oh, Necco wafers. Hell yeah, best candy, safe for the kids. But Belsnickel is a drunken mess. I love him to death. He is mean. He is a bad spirit. If a kid is both well behaved, is good, knows, in some traditions, knows their prayers, and doesn't reach for the presents as soon as he drops them,
being humble, being
then
grateful.
They're allowed to get them without him beating on them. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, after he yells more insults, he just leaves. And sometimes he'll go...
a crazy drunk uncle.
Yeah, he's badass. Now, here's where his tradition gets seriously awesome, and where I'm not even joking. We need to bring this shit back.
Okay.
Like, I want to next year.
Well, how about... that's fine.
There's a tradition called Belsnickling, with an ING.
And where is this?
In Pennsylvania.
Okay.
So it died out in the 80s, like 1980s. So it died out recent enough. I feel like we can reignite it. They did it literally since colonial times all the way up to then. It just every year got
Wait. We have a friend who's into events. Zach, if you're listening, let's make a Krampus event and a Belsnickling
We
event.
really need to make a Krampus event.
Yeah, we do. Like, we live in Houston. People would love this shit, and we need to do in downtown. This is an idea. I'm going to take this off air with y'all because this is actually something I would love to do. And we know the right
I was talking
people.
about this yesterday.
Yeah.
Michigan Slim, I actually like those, and I feel horrible about it. Those are so bad, but I like those candy. But Belsnickel, he inspired this tradition called Belsnickling that went on forever. And there's pictures from like the 70s and 60s of people who were Belsnickling.
Yeah.
And what they do is on December 5th.
I'm gonna Google this real quick.
It's kind of hard to find. I got some pictures.
Yeah.
And you can find it. It's just kind of hard.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, everything rhymes, right? So this is on December 5th, aka Krampusnacht. So like, and they've been doing this since the 1700s, which might predate Krampus, which is kind of weird because there's no way Germans came up with Krampus in response to Belsnickling in Pennsylvania. But on December 5th, groups of friends would wear multiple layers of clothes because Belsnickel wears a lot of layers.
Yeah.
They wouldn't dress up like Belsnickel though. They would just wear lots of clothes.
Does this have something to do with strip poker?
No.
Damn it!
And they would get really bundled and stupid and fat in all their clothes.
Yeah.
And then they would hide their faces or wrap their faces in scarves or wear big stupid masks. The most common masks being St. Nicholas masks and Satan masks. And then they wear the masks, and then they would all go to a house in the community, and then they would sing outside really horribly, like absolutely horribly, and then they would threaten that they wouldn't leave the property until they were let in. But nobody knew who they were, and they would use fake voices and stuff. And then once
and these are local people, like these are local friends.
But yeah, theoretically,
so it's like if I go out to you, let me.
Yeah, technically, you were only supposed to do it to friends, but the tradition didn't actually work out that way.
Yeah,
it was like neighbors, but often it was neighbors that didn't know you. And you would come in.
I guess that's a good way. It's a good potluck. What a great potluck idea.
Oh, it gets even more potlucky. Then once you were inside, the owner of the house had to guess who everybody was. And if they guessed correctly, you would take off your mask, reveal it, and you lost that Belsnickling.
Yeah.
If they guessed wrong, they had to give you rum, whiskey, eggnog, or a dessert.
Oh my god, is it that stupid show with the singing masks?
Fuck. The Masked Singer is Belsnickling.
Masked Singer's Belsnickling.
I'm so angry at you. I'm so angry at you. I loved Belsnickling until right now. Now that I know... Yeah, the Masked Singer's basically Belsnickel. It's just they don't do it door to door.
It's people you know. It's people you know, and you
God
have to
damn
guess.
it.
Ashley ruins another thing for Kyle. This is my favorite thing to do, isn't it?
We should let the Masked Singers, like the show, know that they need to do a Christmas episode that's like based on Belsnickel. Because like they're already doing the whole thing.
Do Hans Trap. Do let's see, got him.
But ultimately, though, once you guessed everyone that was there, then they had to leave. So the goal, the objective.
Wait, so if that person wins, they get a bunch of stuff, right?
Well, they get whiskey, rum, or desserts, or eggnog.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, is the hospitality like rules of the time. Like you weren't allowed to just not give them rum and whiskey and shit.
Yeah.
You did. You didn't guess who it was, so you got to give it to them.
Well, a lot of cultures, their rules with guests is huge.
Oh
if
yeah.
the guest says, there are some cultures where if I say, hey, I like this thing, they're like, you can have it.
That means you
can have it. Like it's insane how nice people are. And nowadays, I'm like, don't touch me, don't come to my house. Who the fuck are you? Like, oh, you like that? Get out. You know.
And then Belsnickel has cousins.
Yeah.
The most famous of which is the Mary Lloyd.
Oh, I recently learned about Mary Lloyd. She went a little viral, and I'm so happy.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yay, Mary Lloyd!
After Krampus, I think the Mary Lloyd is the next most well-known, like,
and she's weird,
thing.
But she's not scary.
Yeah, well, she's scary looking, but it's not a scary myth. It's a talking horse skull. Like, that's pretty
Have you
spooky.
seen The Magus Bride?
No.
That's a really good anime. Rachel, you should watch it. That's because it kind of has that theme where it has like a horse skull, and I was like, anyways, keep going.
No,
ADD.
No, yeah, you're
ADD. We're talking about anime now. I went on an anime tangent.
So,
it's very good. You will love it.
So Belsnickel has no cultural connections to Mary Lloyd, but it's just like it's a very similar tradition. So
it's almost like being weird and creepy is a European thing. What's going on?
I know, it's fun.
I love it. Cold.
So
cannibalism.
So for those that don't know what the Mary Lloyd is, this is a tradition in Wales, specifically Wales. It's kind of outgrown that region, but not like a lot.
Yeah.
It's become, the internet kind of fell in love with it because it's so strange. But the gist of it in a nutshell is you and a group of friends pick somebody to bear the Mary Lloyd. The Mary Lloyd itself is a horse skull that has been decorated with ribbons and fake jewels and paint.
It's very spring.
And it's given glass eyes. And then it has a hood attached to it. So the person who wields the Mary Lloyd hides under the hood, holds a stick, and then you close that.
I would love that as a decoration.
And then some Mary Lloyds even have like a pull string and hinges so they can move the jaw. And then the rest of the people just kind of travel with it. And you go door to door.
Okay. Okay, so have you been to music festivals?
Yeah.
They have those. They have, you know, we had a Totoro one where we had Totoro on a plate.
Yeah.
And you know what? Now we got to go to a music. I'm interrupted you, but we got to get a Mary Lloyd Music Festival totem. It's a totem.
Yeah. Also, it basically is the Monsters from the Village. And if I watched that movie today, I probably would have readily realized that. But back as a kid, when that movie was new, I did not notice.
Is it with the twist where it's like...
Yeah, it's like it's just not even anything. Regardless, Mary Lloyd is fun. You go to house, and the Mary Lloyd sings. And the other people can sing too. But the Mary Lloyd sings, and you're moving its dead horse mouth, which is delightful. And then they sing songs where the whole purpose of them, all the lyrics are, let me into your house. And then the person at the door, the rules are so good. The person that owns the house has to sing responses that are justifications for why it's a rap battle.
It's a rap battle.
They literally have to sing
rap battle
why.
For Mary Lloyd.
Thank you. I can't believe they haven't done that actually. But you have to justify why the Mary Lloyd in the party can't come in. And if
I'd be like, come on in.
Oh my God, Aaron Cully, my boy, what's up?
Aaron, that's great if they
do. But what I will say on it is, while kind of like researching into it, it seems to be a fairly it's not a Krampuslof, if that makes any sense. It's not like the spectacle of these Krampuslofs that are kind of a little bit more like festivals.
Yeah.
Or it's like it's a whole.
We want to be fucking chased. I want to be freaked out. I want to feel like this is real. I want my little alcohol-addled brain to be a little like, oopsie, what have I done? Like that's what I want.
Absolutely. But so the Mary Lloyd, begs to come in through song. If the homeowner, they see reasons where they can't. And then the traditional rules are that whoever runs out of music first loses. So if the homeowner runs out of lyrics that justify why you can't come in, you gotta let everybody in. But it's possible if the Mary Lloyd runs out of lyrics, then they leave, they go on their way. The problem is that there's tons of Mary Lloyd songs, and they're basically endless.
Yeah.
So the Mary Lloyd is pre-armed with infinite lyrics, while the homeowner's making up shit on the spot.
Do they come in and take advantage of the homeowner's hospitality?
Yes.
Like, eat different...
You come in...
It's like in The Hobbit, where Bilbo's like, who the fuck are you? And they're like, we're coming in.
We're dwarves, yay.
Gandalf is the Mary Lloyd.
And Gandalf's the Mary Lloyd, exactly.
By the way, welcome to the channel, Aaron.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've ever
You've never met Aaron, but he's... Or if you... Yeah, you have. You met him once, but it's fine.
Did he go to school with us?
No.
Okay.
Aaron's delightful. He's one of my favorite.
If I see him, I'll recognize him.
But so the Mary Lloyd has a lot of other cousins that, unlike Belle Snickling, are directly related. There's Old Tup.
Okay.
Old Tup's the exact same thing, but it's goat skull.
So we have a horse skull, we have a goat skull, and then we have a pan-like figure with Krampus. But Krampus isn't a singing thing. Excuse me. Belle Snickling is just an old man.
There's the Broad, which is a bull skull.
Okay, can you imagine a longhorn skull?
Yeah, it's awesome.
That would be fucking cool. Let's make up a Texas Mary Lloyd.
Oh, that's kind of fun, actually.
I actually like that. We probably have met a couple times. Like I said, I'm horrible with names, so if I see your face, I will know who you are.
But yeah, so there's a lot. Old Tup, the Broad. There's one called the Hoodening, which is basically just Mary Lloyd. It's not much different.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. They don't usually use a real horse skull in that one. They'll make it out of fake stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite, though, is I was reading about Old Tup when they do it with the goat skull. And in the past, it wasn't a goat skull. It was just a goat head. It was just...
So it's just a head.
It's just a decapitated goat head on a stick. And they were like, Christmas time is here.
Did it have flies? Like, was it rotting?
Literally, you can go read accounts from the 1800s, and people bitch about, like, the smell of the
I don't
Old
like
Tup.
the smell, but I just love the idea of someone with a fucking goat head. Hey, guys!
Christmas time! Yeah.
May I have some of your Coke?
Yeah. Oh, it's dead.
Oh, fuck you.
I got water.
I don't need it. I wanted caffeine.
Yeah, it's dead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But, so, those traditions are all very fun. I learned recently, though, check this out.
Yeah.
No one knows their origins at all. Like,
so they have all these stories and all these ideas, but they don't have where it originated from originally. Like when you have the Sinterklaas, you have this,
people know how it came
Germanic,
to be.
And then you have the Moors, the Spanish Moors, or you have Aruba with certain things, and then.
But when it comes to Mary Lloyd and Old Tup and the Broad and all of them, I'm
sure it's European.
They're not myths. They're not figures. No, they know where they first popped up. They don't know why. Or how?
Just have a dead horse school. Like I'm gonna have fun with this with Jerry next door.
I mean, maybe that's the thing.
I'm going to Hans' house and we're gonna have a game. We're gonna have a fun game with Hans.
All these other all the mythological figures, you can trace their old origin.
Yeah.
But yeah, these traditions, they spring up out of fucking nowhere.
You're now gonna put me on a fucking goal to find out where the fuck this is. I'm gonna go to a library.
There's a theory, but it's a bad theory that a lot of people shoot down, and it's like the only theory.
What theory is it?
Apparently, there's a thing called don't remember. It's a fake horse.
Yeah.
But like, it's not like fake horse you ride.
Yeah.
You like even wear this stupid outfit where it looks like you're riding a horse.
Yeah.
And it was really popular with nobles in the late 1700s in parties, where one guy would be riding a stupid fake horse. And some people think that basically peasants saw these nobles doing this stupid fake horse thing and were like, us too, except it's a real horse head.
So they just want to see how much can we fuck with peasants.
But that's no, because the nobles didn't do it on purpose. It was the peasants emulating the nobles.
Okay.
But even then, there's not a whole lot of proof that that's actually
Rich
the case.
People come up with the weirdest shit.
Fact.
They really do. They come up with the most fucked up shit, and I would not be surprised if some rich guy was like, "I'm gonna take my dead horse, and I'll put it on a thing, and I'm just gonna fuck with my neighbor." Yeah. I would not be surprised.
No.
I love it.
Yeah, hobby horse. Thank you. That's what it's called. Yeah. So hobby horse is for
we are educated.
No, I knew it. I just couldn't get it. Yeah, hobby horses for whatever reason, late 1700s, they were just really popular with parties with nobles for some reason, and it was just the stupid fake horse that wasn't anything, and they just thought it was hilarious because they didn't have TV yet, I suppose. So, all right, we're moving on to Icelandic Christmas. Because if there's one thing about Christmas, it's that Icelanders do it the best. They have the best, most wild Christmas. I love it. If any of you have ever heard of the Yule Lads, they come from Iceland, and they are so fucking delightful, I can't even handle it. But we got to start it right. So if anybody's played the Norse God of War games,
yeah,
there is a sub-boss, and a minor boss in one of the games, named Gryla.
Yeah.
And she is a giant. She's an ogress.
Yeah.
Little did you know, Gryla is an important Icelandic Christmas tradition. These poor sad souls, they don't got a Santa Claus. They don't got a Saint Nicholas. They don't got a Sinterklaas. They don't got a Papa Noel. They don't got a Père Noel.
They don't have a Kris Kringle?
They have Gryla. Gryla. You want to hear about the charming Christmassy wonder that is Gryla?
You know what? She sounds warm and loving, and she sounds like a regular Mrs. Claus.
So Gryla is usually depicted as a 9-foot to 2-story tall ogre.
Yeah.
Great start. She often has a shaggy, unkempt neck beard.
Okay.
Tits that sag all the way past her knees.
Oh.
An oxtail. Curled ram horns. A horrible, old, witchy hooked nose covered in warts. 2 eyes stuck in the back of her head and her matted fur over her head. She wears pelts made out of bears and the flesh of humans. She is very hot. That's to be.
I mean, on my best days, I'm a Gryla. Everybody's a Gryla.
If you're a Gryla, then I'm her useless husband, Lapaludi, who is also an ogre. But Lapaludi is defined as being so incredibly lazy that every once in a while, things start to grow on him because he moves so little. And in one myth, he stayed still for so long that stalagmites that were growing out of the ground started to grow up and around him. And Gryla was like, Lapaludi, get up, you useless slug. You've been laying there for 2,000 years. And Gryla's like, I don't want to. I'm fucking Lapaludi. But they're great. They're the Christmas figures. Way better than Santa and Mrs. Claus.
I kind of want ornaments of these guys. I could definitely.
I found where you could buy some.
Okay, because you gotta send me that link. Because I love the idea of a Christmas village with all the different kinds of Santas, and this including Hans Trap, this including
oh hell yeah,
Krampus, this including Mary Lewin, and just like a little fun Barbie make believe of like Mary Lewin's gonna come over and talk to.
Dude, as a kid, I would have been staying up late night every night waiting for Gryla if I'd heard about her. She's like way more my scene. I've always loved the spooky, and Gryla's whole deal is not on Christmas specifically, but during the Christmas season. Yeah, she's out and about.
Nothing's better than a curmudgeonly old bitch.
And here's what kids have to look forward for Christmas from her. If you are out at night, Gryla will eat you.
Okay.
If you've been behaving poorly, she will buy you from your parents. She will pay them for you, and then she will eat you.
Okay.
If you've been a very good kid, very, very, very good, but you linger near your windows too much, she'll break the windows, snatch you, and eat you. If you are
Was that a thing with kids?
If you are good,
were they just breaking fucking windows? If
you're a good child who deserves presents, then Gryla will kidnap you and stew you.
Yeah.
And then lastly, if you're a good Christian child who knows all your prayers, then Gryla will skin you and turn you to jerky.
And this is if she catches you.
Correct.
Okay.
There is no version of the Gryla myth where she does anything good. She just kills and eats children.
So there's no upside to her.
They have the best Christmas of any culture. Icelanders know how to fucking do it.
Which
we're gonna get the Yule Lads.
Troll? Okay, troll is a big thing for various
And she was a troll.
Yeah.
No joke. So Gryla started off. She's actually, of any of the figures we're talking about, she's probably the second oldest.
Yeah.
She predates the real Saint Nicholas by hundreds of years. Gryla is from Norse mythology.
Yeah.
And she actually, unlike Krampus, who has this tenuous connection, there's no question with Gryla. She is a Norse figure who factored in the mythology. She was really unimportant. Yeah. She was just a troll.
Yeah.
And then over time in Iceland, there's a region that I A, barely remember how to say it, and B, it's hard for me to say. There's a region near a volcanic ring that the way the stone spires are grown by the lava looks like a little city. So in their myths, Gryla lives there. And in their Christmas traditions today, they still say, like, yeah, Gryla lives right the fuck there.
Has anybody ever gone?
Yes, but keep in mind, so Icelanders don't believe in Gryla. It's just she's an important part of their Christmas myths, and they scare their kids with her and stuff. But like,
even if you act right, though, you're still gonna get eaten. So just learn how to run really fucking fast.
I think it's more, honestly, Iceland's so fucking cold. I think it's more about like, don't get caught out in the snow at
don't
night.
get outside
like
too
make
long.
sure, and I think that's really what they were doing. Instead about it being about morals, it was just safety. Gryla will fucking get you. But keep in mind, Iceland does still believe in elves, and not like passively. Like a big part of like Icelandic culture is elves are widely believed by a lot of the population, and not Christmas elves.
Like Fae in Ireland.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people in Ireland. I don't know if Levels will. Because Levels is from Ireland.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff, though, even with Iceland,
yeah,
a lot of these traditions that are still actively believed in today tie to rural traditions. Yeah. But elves are big. Did you ever see the Eurovision movie with Will Ferrell?
No, I wanted to. Was it good? Was it great?
It's really bad. I love it.
Okay, then I need to see it.
I really liked it.
It was bad.
It's
I wanted to
fucking
see it.
stupid.
I wanted to see if it was stupid. I will only see a Will Ferrell movie if it's stupid, and thankfully they're all fucking stupid.
There's a scene in that movie where the two main characters, one of them, they're from Iceland.
Yeah.
And one of the characters, she believes in elves, and Will Ferrell's character thinks that's really fucking stupid. But like she does, and it's so sweet, and I love it. And there's a part like she prays to them, and good things keep happening to them. And there's a scene where he like finally like bucks up and he's gonna go to the elves. So he like goes to the little hill where the little elf houses are, which is a thing they do in Iceland. And he prays, and they fucking kill a guy. Like the little elves are real in the movie, and they fucking murder a guy. It's fucking great.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah. It's great. It's fantastic.
Next time you come over, you're now gonna see little houses in my yard where I'm just like, can you just get this person for me?
And they might.
I'm not going to do that.
We're not in Iceland, so who knows? You might be too far.
I know. They're not here. I don't know what America has.
We had stuff, but we killed all of its problem.
Probably. Yeah.
Woo! But Gryla is said to live in these hills. Nobody actually believes that, unlike the elves. But her useless husband, Lapaludi, who's her third husband, she's had tons of children, and they all factored into all these myths throughout the ages. And she had nothing to do with Christmas time.
Yeah.
She was just a thing people were scared of. And she was believed in for a long time.
By the way, if Gryla can get dick, you can too.
Dude, she had 3 husbands.
Damn!
Yeah.
It's all about personality.
And one depiction of her, she has 300 heads, and every head has 3 eyes. So she's a looker, tell us. That's my least favorite depiction of her. Generally, she's just a big horned ogress.
Yeah.
But with Lapaludi,
she
had 13 sons. And these sons are the Yule lads. And god damn it, I love the Yule lads.
Literally a looker.
So we're gonna go through the Yule lads really fucking quick because they're not worth talking about individually.
Okay.
As a concept, they're great. So their version, they don't get Santa. They don't get a gift giver. Instead, they get the Yule lads. So the Yule lads start showing up at your house on December 12th. And every day from that point on, a different Yule lad shows up.
Is this an advent calendar of Yule lads, essentially?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And a different one shows up, and they do weird little pranks. They're supposed to be evil.
Yeah.
Here's my favorite thing, because everything I'm about to describe, you're going to imagine like happy little elves or little gnomes or small guys. Apparently they're like 8 foot tall, which makes it way better because they're sneaky as fuck. You never see them.
I thought they were tiny. I thought they were 3 feet.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, they're not. They're fucking giant, which is great. So the Yule lads are evil.
Yeah.
And in the old myths where they kind of originated from, they were very evil. Over time, they have softened up a lot, but they're an important part of Icelandic tradition, and they're Gryla's children. So, real quick, we're gonna go through them. We got Stekkjastur. His deal is on December 12th. He comes, and you're a lucky child. What does he do? If you have sheep, he harasses them and he lets them out. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. You just have responsibilities.
On December 13th, we get Gilliger. What does he do? He hides in ditches near your house. And if he sees an opportunity to steal milk, he's going to do it.
It's the milk. It's always the milk.
The next day, you get Stufur, who is 2 foot tall. And he's the only one. Just Stufur. He's my boy. Stufur translates to stubby in Icelandic.
I love it. This
also,
is very much a 7 dwarves.
Yeah.
But it's not. They're 8 feet tall.
And yeah, exactly. And evil.
They're 8 feet tall and assholes.
Stubby will break in your house, and then any of your pans or anything you've been cooking with that has any like crumbs in it or leftovers or anything, he'll steal those pans from you. Just and now they're gone.
All my pans are gone.
They're all gone.
They're all gone.
Next guy is Vorsiliker. If you have any wooden...
look at these guys. Wait.
If you have any wooden spoons...
I'm sorry, guys, that we don't have anything set up to show you the images.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
This is our first episode.
I'm going to get a stream deck, but these... And go look them up. Look
Yule Lads are hilarious.
If you're on Google, look up Yule Lads, and then we can go through these together.
Vorsiliker, he licks your wooden spoons. He just slobbers all over them. And he's the tallest.
And this is the image?
Yeah.
You're missing some good images.
He's both the tallest and the skinniest, and part of the reason is because he's too stupid to eat. So like when he's licking your spoons, he's like trying to like get memory of food off of it, which is why he's starving to death perpetually. Love him. Next one is Potasiliker. What do you think he does?
I bet he licks pots.
His name is Potlicker. That's what it translates to.
What does he do?
He steals your leftovers.
Pot liquor.
That's that. Then we got Eskaskaliker, my favorite one, and he came yesterday if we were performing Icelandic tradition. Eskaskaliker translates to bowl licker. Guess what he does?
Likes bowls.
He hides under your bed, you fool. And if he can reach a bowl from under your bed, he licks it. but it's only from under your bed. He fucking kicks ass. Next, we got Herdis Killer. He slams doors in your house, especially at night. On December 19th, you get Skier Gobbler.
Does he like skier?
Way better. He eats yogurt in your house loudly. He doesn't even eat...
These guys are just rude neighbors. They're just really shitty friends.
He doesn't even steal your yogurt.
He just eats yogurt.
He brings his own fucking yogurt.
He's like the entity of staying too long, and I brought my own shit, and I'm like, you gotta leave.
I love him so much. Then we got Youngana Crick here, who translates to sausage swiper. He hides in your rafters, waiting for opportunities to steal sausage. Then we got Golgagir, who is a voyeur. That's it.
He just wants to look at you.
He spies through keyholes and door frames and windows, and he tries actively to catch you naked or taking a shit.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's Christmassy as fuck.
That is true. These are all Christmas themed.
Yeah.
This is Christmas.
Yeah.
These aren't just random trolls that we're talking about. These are actually like the Advent children of bad neighbors.
Each day is a Christmas special.
Oh my God. I know.
You're so deep in it.
I know, but the Advent calendar.
Then we got Gadabifer, who's his doorway sniffer. He stands at doorways with his giant nose. And
why is that creepier than the voyeur to me?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's creepier.
Yeah, well, he's sniffing for bread. If he sniffs bread though, he doesn't do anything about it. He just is like,
that's creepier.
Bread.
Guys, which one's the creepiest? So far?
Bread. Also, if you feel like answering a question, hearing this level of quality of pranks to do to children as horrible little Yule Lads, if you were a Yule Lad, what stupid fucking thing do you do when you break into a person's house? I got mine the other day.
Is it?
It's modern day.
Yeah.
I'm a modern day Yule Lad. I would go and reset all your save files on video games. Yeah, I'm a fucking I'm a devious bastard Yule Lad.
We had this discussion last night with Jordan and Rachel, actually. And Rachel, what was yours? Gilded Lady. Mine was, I had one, and then it was 2 a.m.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't remember what
very
it was.
late, and we've been drinking. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And we had good, delicious shots.
It was a good time.
The best tequila.
Then we got Catch Crooker, who he has a meat hook.
Yeah.
And there we go, Gilded Lady.
Raid your fridge, obviously. Drinking ink out of your pens. That was you.
Oh, drinking ink out of the pens is...
Michigan, I reset the password on the Wi-Fi. You were such an asshole.
Damn, all three of those are good Yule Lads. They actually fit the Yule Lad
Maybe
theme,
mine be like,
though.
you can never find a utensil when you need one.
Oh, you're just out of sight, just like...
Yeah, just like, or like you can't find a hair tie. Notice how I've been messing with my hair. I couldn't find my hair tie, so that's like what's on my mind.
I've been fucking with this hair tie, but it's mine. It is. It's already dead. We got Catch Crooker, who he has a meat hook. His name translates to meat hook. And if he sees an opportunity, he'll steal meat with it. But he's important because when Gryla can't get in a house because she's too big, she sicks Catch Crooker to meat hook children to her. Because Iceland does Christmas right, yet again. Then we got the last one. They're kind of, you see how they're getting a little bit worse as they go on?
Yeah.
The voyeur
was
and
fine with the
sniffer.
yogurt.
Yeah. It's like the worst of the worst. You ready for it? This is Kratjesniker. He steals your candles and he eats them.
That's an asshole thing to do those days.
He eats those candles like a fucking dick, leaving you in darkness.
I have one. I would make your fire alarm beep.
Oh, you evil, devious son
I'd
of a
make
bitch.
it beep every 5 minutes, and then it'd be like, you change batteries, it would still beep. And they would change, like, that would be my thing, is, like, battery change.
That's actually a really good ULED. Also, if they had modern day connotations, that is one of these. Like,
yeah,
that's perfect.
Okay, so we have Wi-Fi pass. Like, people are coming in, we're asking if you had a really shitty, because we're talking about the Yule lads. They're great. They're horrible. They're just meant to cause trouble and be annoying.
Yep.
So what is an annoying trait you would have as a fictional creature, as a
Yule
Icelandic,
as a Yule, Icelandic legend,
troll,
little 8-foot guys. Also, last little thing with the Yule lads is, they are the gift giving end of the Icelandic tradition.
Yeah.
So each day one comes. Once they do their bit, they will leave a very small gift.
I'm sorry, I don't think that Sniffer is sniffing for bread. I think he's sniffing feet. I'm sorry, I can't let it go. Yeah.
The fact that he comes right after the voyeur.
I can't let it go. This guy is fucked up.
He is fucked. They're all fucked up, but yeah, him and the voyeur are the two
Steer
most.
one, he's just hanging out. I'm like, okay, as a friend who overstays their welcome.
Nothing wrong with gargling
he should have been
some
first.
dirt.
He's fine.
That's what you do with the.
Its skewer is pretty good. I have some actually downstairs.
I think modern days he'd carry Go-Gurt.
Yeah.
He'd gargle
and like that noise.
Miss slurping it, yeah. So.
Wait, wasn't there something with big penises?
Oh yeah, that's the last thing.
Okay.
I saved them for last because they're the best. So after the Yule lads, the last piece of Icelandic tradition is, and I actually have to pull up how to say it because it's hard for me.
I know which one.
It's the Yola Kulturin, aka the Yule Cat. And part of what got me into like learning about all of these and stuff was when I learned that other cultures had things that like destroyed and devoured children. I got so jealous as an American. And it was
we have everything is very washed out,
sanitized.
It's thank you, that's the word I was looking for. It's very sanitized. We don't have something that's scary.
Yeah,
we have our scary thing is not getting stuff.
Yeah,
the capitalism American, like that is our scary thing. Not getting eaten, not getting like
whipped,
killed, stolen,
chopped,
sold
turned
into slavery.
Stew. Yeah,
we didn't get shit for Christmas.
Yep.
Actually, that is a really big fear of mine. I really like stuff. I have too much stuff. I gotta get rid of stuff. Like that's actually really bad for me. I'm like, oh my god. Anyways,
so the Yola Kulturin, aka translates to the Yule Cat, and the Yule Cat is a basically a cat the size of a house.
Yeah,
it's not like a lion or a panther. It is much impossibly larger. And it is famous for its giant reflective green eyes, just like, cat eyes. So at night, from a great distance, you would see these big reflective orbs, and you would know that you were in danger from the Yule Cat. Its primary deal is that it will, if you're out at night, it's during the winter season, it will fucking eat you like it's a cat.
How big is this cat?
It's generally described as being about 20 foot tall.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. And the Yola Kulturin is one of the oldest Christmas traditions there is. I
just imagine all of our friends going, I can fix it.
Oh my God. Riley and Jordan both.
Jordan, I can just imagine them going, it just needs to be played with to fix it. It's like, no, this thing will eat you.
So the Yola Kulturin has become, in recent years, it is, I'd say recent, past 200 years, it is Gryla's cat. And it actually lives with Gryla, Lapaludi, and the Yule lads all in their castle in the lava fields of Iceland, which is badass.
We need to go visit this.
No,
honestly, if we had the money, if we had a benevolent sugar daddy or sugar mama, I would say let's just go walk around during Christmas time. Christmas time. Okay, sorry.
Oh, dude, Christmas time in Iceland's fucking awesome. And I got pictures of like them.
I won't do anything for you, but if you just want to send me money to travel, I'd love that.
No, we need. You ever see that show Dark Tourism?
Let's do that.
We
like to get freaked out. We like to be scared.
I also just like how fucked up like the myths and legends of humanity is. I love it.
I love the psychology. I like
it.
the psychological aspect of it. That's more me. Just like
is.
What is the reason for this?
Why we do this?
And also, it's just fun to be scared.
Yeah.
Also, Zach said sanitizing.
Yeah, thank you. That is
Zach.
our sanitizing.
You're
Yeah,
so beautiful. I love you.
But
I miss you.
the Yolokaturan, besides eating kids and people, he's one of the only ones that eats adults as well.
Oh shit, that's the first one.
Yeah, that are out at night. The other thing,
2 hours of talking about this stuff. That's the first one that will eat an adult.
The other thing it'll do is it'll spy through windows, and it'll on specifically Christmas Eve and Christmas, just those 2 days. It will see if children in the house have gotten new clothes.
I remember this.
And if they haven't gotten new clothes, then it breaks through the window and eats them because.
Now, why is that the children's fault? Because children can't afford clothes.
Yeah.
Is there like a tradition, a cultural tradition where they made their clothes?
No.
Okay.
But there is a tradition.
Is it like you're punishing people for being poor?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. But actually, what it boils down to is there was a tradition in Iceland forever, which was like if you were really hardworking, the reward for it was new clothes.
Okay.
So he was checking for new clothes, but he's really checking to see if the kids had been hard at work.
Yeah.
For poor people, the way that you could escape the Yolokataran or the Yule Cats was if you had old clothes. If you had kept really good care of them, you could leave them out as like a sign of like,
we do take care of our
this is all we got. But that's all he cares about. He's got new clothes. He's got to fucking eat you.
So it's a message of like, do you take care of your shit? Are you slovenly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would be eaten so. Actually, no, I take okay care of my clothes. It's my other stuff I don't take care of.
Yeah.
You should see my makeup drawer.
I
would be eaten so fast. A lot of dust, man. Just a lot of loose powders.
So, because we are nearing the end here, I'm going to describe our last little guys, and then I would like to read a poem, if I may, and then we'll sign off. But our last little guys here, from Greece, we got the Kalkanzori, and check this out. They'll get you the Christmas spirit immediately. Kalkanzori are tiny, black and fuzzy, little guys with massive dicks who live underground. They spend every year trying to chop down the tree of life, and if the tree of life gets chopped down, it causes the apocalypse. That's their whole goal. They're pure evil.
No, they're termites.
They got dicks, big dicks, huge dicks. Their whole deal. They're tiny and they got huge dicks, and they don't wear clothes. And
I'm gonna go worship these guys.
The Kalkanzori. What happens is every year they get really close to chopping down the whole tree of life. They saw on its roots underground, but then they hear Christmas stuff going on.
Yeah.
And they get so excited, they come out to the surface world and forget about it. And then they fuck around with mortals during Christmas.
Now these guys are tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're just little.
Then...
So are they just dragging their cocks?
Yeah. Oh, so...
Are they a walking dick?
It gets better. No, they just got big dicks. Which is like famously a big part of them is they got massive penises that they don't hide. And... during the time they're up on the surface, the tree of life gets time to heal. So then when Christmas season's over, they go back down to finish and they're like, fuck, the tree healed again. I guess we'll try this. We're going to cause the apocalypse this year. And then they go back at it. And I love them. What they do.
They're like dumb.
They're so Christmassy. What they do is they come up and it's Christmas time. And then they piss in your food. They dip their dicks in stuff that you're drinking. They dip it. It's just nice. They just teabag your stuff and your food. They take shits in your flower beds and in meals that you haven't finished preparing yet. They break your furniture. They take shits down your chimney. Merry Christmas!
What is the upside? Do they have a natural enemy?
No upside.
Is there like Santa's like, go to bed?
Nope.
And wait, which culture is this?
Greece.
What the fuck, man?
And do you know how you get rid of Kalkanzori if your house gets full of them?
How?
They are frat bros. And I wish I had time to get into it because chances are what caused their legends has to deal with drunken people.
Yeah.
But Kalkanzori are hilarious, stupid fucking little guys. And the way you get rid of them is two ways. One, you either take your smelliest shoe you own and you light it on fire in your living room. Which gets rid of them, apparently. Or number two, you throw donuts and sausages on top of your roof.
These are two.
Or number three, you hang a colander up, like a strainer because they're terrified of colanders.
Why? Is there a reason?
It's because they're compelled to count all the holes in the calendar, but they think 3 is a holy number, so every time they count to 3, they burst into flames. And then they keep counting. Like, another one will be like, oh, he fucked up. 1, 2, 3. Ah! And then another one's like, oh, shit. 1, 2, 3. Ah! So if you hang a colander in front of your house before Christmas time, then they just don't even come.
I should hang a colander in front of my house, and my parents would be like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
For the frat bros, I love it.
Yeah, it's delightful. They're great. And my the very last one, because we are running out of time, is my favorite, most evil, most wonderful, Frau Perkta. I'm not even going to get into it. She's too great for that. She's the oldest entity on this whole list.
Yeah.
By a lot. She was probably a goddess. She's sometimes a decrepit old crone. Sometimes she's a beautiful, otherworldly, heavenly maiden.
The duality of people. Honestly,
of people and
women.
And of women.
Yeah, the duality of women. Some days I'm a crone, some days I'm a hot-ass goddess.
And
which one are you going to get today?
She is so wildly evil. I love it. During the Christmas time, the whole Christmas season, specifically Advent, she basically just stalks her section of the world.
Yeah.
And she'll go to homes and she'll sneak in. She uses spells to be invisible and stuff.
Yeah.
She's a very powerful witch. And she'll sneak in and she'll check if you've been doing your chores. And this isn't even just kids. This is everybody in the house.
Yeah.
But kids are her favorite. She'll check if you've been doing your chores, if everything's up to snuff, if you're clean.
Yeah.
And if you've been good, and if you've told any lies this past year. She uses spells to determine these things. If you did not check off all those things, if your house is not clean,
yeah.
If your chores are not done,
yeah.
If you've lied,
yeah.
If you're bad, whatever. If even just one of these has happened, what she will do is, if that applies to everyone in the house, she locks all the doors and burns the house down. Fucking awesome. If the parents have been good, but the children have been bad,
yeah,
and what they've been bad with is lying, then she'll take broken glass and she'll cut their tongues into strips.
Does she eat them?
No, just cut them into strips.
That's the only one. That's the only one that doesn't eat kids.
If the kids have been even worse and have not just been lying, well then she will use a thin knife she carries with her, and she will cut open their bellies, pull out all of their entrails, and then stuff them full of rocks and garbage and sew them back closed.
And they just leave them to there.
And then they're dead. And they're just fucking.
They're just like, what's wrong with my child? And then it rots.
Yeah, and then she keeps the entrails, and she feeds them to her Perkten. And her Perkten are a massive group of demons she travels with, and fae. And they all travel with her as well.
I think I'm gonna start worshiping her.
She sounds
pretty
fucking
badass.
awesome. The Perkten all look like Krampus, and chances are this is where we circle all the way back to Krampus in the beginning of this.
Yeah.
I said that Krampus seems to be new, but there's chances he's not.
Yeah.
In some very ancient myths of Frau Perkten, she's been around for like thousands of years.
Yeah.
In some very ancient myths of hers, one of her Perkten that traveled with her was named Krampus, and those myths are very old. So
there may be where the spark ignited, and then it went to sleep, or in
he was one of
villages.
the Perkten, yeah, and that it fell off, and then it came back.
He became a fan favorite.
Basically, yeah. But she's my favorite. She flies.
He's the Rudolph.
Yeah. Yeah. But those are our Christmas boogeymen. They're all wonderful. They're all horrible. There's tons of other figures.
This was a lot of fun. I know you've had a lot of fun.
I needed to learn it.
He loves anti-clauses, and
just learning.
I definitely stepped back this episode because the thing is, like, I had no idea where to start, to be honest. Other ones, I was like, okay, I got this, and this one,
I just knew I wanted to do.
This is your lore guy.
I just wanted to do a lorecore. That's right. I just wanted to do a Christmas episode, and these spooky companions are so fucking weird. They're so dark.
Yeah.
They're so horrible. Honestly, like Hans Trapp and Frau Perkta and Gryla are vile.
I think Frau
horrible
Perkta is someone I'm going to be very interested in learning, because I love the duality, especially in women kind of deities, because I feel like you have the Mother Maiden crone, and she is subjected to.
She's kind of all three.
Crone. Yeah, but
because the Perkten are her children.
Yeah, but.
Yeah,
she sounds awesome. But now your poem.
This is a silly little thing, but I had to do it. And I hope. I'm going to try to illustrate this next year and probably sell it, because I'm really proud of how it came out. I got a lot of help on this from the Gilded Lady, who's in chat right now.
That's our favorite girl, Rachel.
So with all the stories that you've heard here, I prepare for this story that I hope in a few years we'll be telling our children instead of what we do now. 'Twas the holiday season. The whole world was merry, but something was stirring, something quite scary.
The stockings were hung, the shoes were laid out, in hopes of St. Nicholas, Sinterklaas, and other Santas about. The children were tired and heading upstairs, and sudden clanging of bells could be heard through the air. Please be Mary Lloyd hoodening old Tup. If it's anything else, I should be deep in my cup. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, whips, sticks, and switches left my poor home abattered. Belsnickel barged through my door with his horrible friends, Krampus, Kloboff, Parkhelge, all demons. My children aren't impish, they're admirable and good. The black shaggy horned figures implacable stood. Belsnickel emptied his pockets, snacks spilled on the floor, while snow and cloaked figures spilled through my front door. They were all here, Hans Trapp, Smutzli, Père Fêtard too, hoping for a helping of Gryla's famous child stew. Of course Gryla was here, Lazy Lapaludi as well, and she called all her sons to help make this night hell. Stiff peg-leg Stockyoster, pester the sheep. Gillagugger, steal their milk from the gully you'll creep. Wee little stoofer, crusty pans you shall steal. And Vorsilicker, licking their spoons be your meal. Pottisilicker, leaving none of their pots with a crumb. And Aeskilicker, no one leaves bowls by their beds, I told you that's dumb. Herdeskeller, slam those doors till they hurt. And Skiergimmer, you must gargle that girt. Huga Borkir, my stew needs some sausage, and Gulagagir, look, find some mommy some sauces. Gottabefer, sniff them out, find his wretched spawn, and Kretschkaker, prepare your meat hook, search the lawn. Kretisknikir, I guess eat their candles? Except for the last one, I dreaded these vandals. It was a who's who of holiday horrors, my family their quarry. Had my children escaped, my heart filled with worry. These former slaves of St. Nick had little interest in me. Some bound up the stairs, some others toppled my tree. But then in the window shined a bright sphere. That was no moon, the Yolakaturin was here. Cannibal creatures visiting, the Yule Cat prowling outside. Had my children new clothes? Did they know to go hide? A commotion from the chimney drew my attention. Was St. Nicholas here to be our salvation? He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A birch rod in hand, a sack of ash on his back, his eyes cold and hard, his furs and soul black. As he rose to full height, he loomed over the others. Long live Connect Ruprecht, chanted his brothers. No gifts, little man, your Saint Nick is dead. Bring us the children or we'll drag them from bed. If they've been good, these treats they may keep, but a dip in the fjord is what bad children reap. But I want to whip them, Fêtard chimed in, and I want to lick them, Krampus said over the din. Why stop at licking, Hans Trapp said with a leer. Let's coat them in butter and serve them with beer. Or maybe we'll just bag them up and take them to Spain? Belsnickel shot Zwartpete a look of disdain. We're all already having stew, Gryla boomed. I still don't know how two ogres fit in the room. Amidst all the chaos, the Calicanzari ran wild, adding their special meat to Gryla's sopa to child. A shout from upstairs, the peeping Yule lad. There are no children here, good or bad. A murmur fell over the crowd, dashed looks exchanged, and as the creatures filled out, peace was regained. I surveyed the wreckage of this once festive dwelling. Presents tattered, sooty, urinal smelling. I sprinted upstairs to look for my children. If they were in hiding, I knew where they'd hidden. Not in the wardrobe, the attic, the hamper. Back in the room, my heart began to hammer. I flew to their bedside, threw off the linens, met with a sight that sent my world spinning. Amongst the rabble of monsters and Yuletide demons, there was one face I did not recall seeing. A beautiful woman, or a grizzled old crone, Frau Perkta had acted and acted alone. Two resting faces, angelic composed, two bloodied bellies, gutted and sewn closed. I could not even scream, I could not even cry, and I looked out at the horde, I could only ask, why? Over the throng Frau Perkta flew, above the souls of the damned and all her Perkten too, and I heard her exclaim as she flew out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
That was fucking awesome!
Yeah,
that was awesome! Holy shit!
I really want to get it illustrated. I think that would be a delightful dark Christmas book.
I'll actually put a donation to the publishing.
Yeah, but that's it. Thank you guys so much.
That was fucking awesome. Yep. You see why I love this man very much. That was awesome. But guys, thank you so much for joining us today. Kyle, thank you.
No, thank you.
Today was awesome.
Thank you for letting me gush. This was one I was really excited about.
He's been. We have documentation for this channel, and we shared notes and such. And he had a literal.
It was a problem.
It was a Wikipedia.
I just liked learning about it.
I think it was 500 pages.
It was a lot.
It was 500 pages.
It was a lot. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this and for hanging in.
This is our first official show.
This is the first official episode on the channel. We will be seeking out to grow it and doing all various topics as long as they're weird, spooky, creepy, inky, gross. Yeah, if there's a topic you want us to talk about or to learn about, if we don't know,
next week's topic?
We have no idea what next week's is at all. No,
we don't. But
well, so next Sunday is
the Sunday after Christmas,
right? So we're probably not going to do next Sunday. No. Probably.
Let's start New Year.
The one after that, though, we'll do something fun. Fucking wear gators.
But for those of you who followed, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Seriously.
That Paul made one, and thank you so much, and blah, 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 da, 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 da. But, so that we had Lala follow, we had Zach follow, Gilded Lady, you've been following. Thank you for those who have followed me on my personal channel.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping by. Levels, you're great. It was really great to have you. Michigan, it's always wonderful to have you. But you guys, thank you so much, and hey, that was fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
You fucking
Merry Dark Christmas, I suppose.
Merry Dark Christmas. Make sure you act right and do not get eaten or killed. And if you have children, hide them in a closet.
Yeah.
And make sure little demon things don't stick their dick in your food.
Be careful about that one. That one's the only real one.
Also, watch some scary movies. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Look into the lore. These things are fun.
This holiday used to be scary.
Yeah.
Let's bring that back.
And also, here's a question to ask yourself. Would you get Krampus or would you get Santa this year?
Hopefully Krampus. He's hotter.
All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for ending the show. I don't know if we'll be on next Sunday, but I know the Sunday after that for the new year, we will come back and we will have a new topic ready.
For sure.
And this is Kyle.
This is Ashley.
We'll see you soon. And also, for those of you who don't know, I have my own stream, and I'll be streaming on my own stream, Hack Attacks 25, whatever. Okay. But anyways, love you guys.